things are good. I mean, I think people always like to know what school you come from. Yeah. You know, it's funny because I've been texting with 3 different people named Brooks in the last 24 hours. Of course, I sent one.
Brooke Kilgore here following a 5-4 loss against the Bourne Braves, joined by manager Lauren Hibbs. Coach, first of all, slow offensive game. Your defense performing well, though, tonight for the most part.
Yeah, we were dominant early in the game. Just absolutely dominated for 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've known her for years.
Had a couple of hiccups there, a couple innings. Thought we played well enough to win, but just didn't finish.
Mm-hmm. You guys have had 3 straight games now where your starting pitchers had 4 or more scoreless innings. What does that say as a testament to promoting some of these guys from the bullpen up to starters?
Well, I think Tim O.C., our pitching coach, has done a great job. We've got a good plan. Johannes Lopez helps him out a lot. We all 3 of us are on the same page. Frady does a good job. Coach Frady with position on defense. We've got information that we use for scouting. There's a lot that goes into it. Mel does a good job with the infield. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. Just got to do a better job of executing some pitches sometimes. And, I thought we did good enough things to win. We just didn't finish.
What do you believe changed in those extra innings? Of course, we saw bats swing a little bit more than we had seen throughout the 9 innings.
Well, yeah, they went out some good arms. They got, they got a couple of guys there on the back end that are mid-90s with breaking. So, again, we just gotta keep grinding and keep playing and try to finish games like this tonight.
Final question for you. Of course, you don't have to preface if it is true or not, but is Jack Natilli okay? Can we get an update on that?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I've done a lot of things in my lifetime. I'm not a doctor. He's one of the toughest kids I've ever been around. We love the kid. We love him playing for us. If he can play, he'll play. But he is banged up like crazy. So, but he continues to grind like a lot of our guys. A lot of guys are like that. That sets the tone for the team. We'll see how he's doing.
All right, thank you so much, Coach. Appreciate it. Brooke Kilgore here following a 5-4 walk-off victory for the Bourne Braves. Cotuit Kettleers dropped the first one after 3 straight wins. I'm here with starting pitcher Rob Evans. First of all, 5 scoreless innings, 6 strikeouts. You're the 3rd Cotuit Kettleer in the past 3 games, at least we should say, to have 4 or more scoreless innings in a row. Rob, what was happening out there for you?
I guess it was just kind of throwing strikes. I mean, that's all OC has been telling us to do, throw strikes. It's amazing what happens when you just throw strikes. Let guys get themselves out. So just trying to not overdo it, stay simple. And once I got in the rhythm, after about the second inning, I realized it would click, and just kept doing that. Didn't try to overthink anything, just kept getting out.
In games where the offense hasn't been very prevalent, it's been on you guys to keep the game in check. What has been kind of the mentality that you and the other starting pitchers, Mika and Haug, have been bringing to the mound?
Bring your best stuff ever. You can't take an inning off. When the offense isn't at their peak, we kind of have an offense that heats up toward the end of the game. So early on in the game, you got to be at the best. Let the bullpen take it from there. Obviously tonight didn't go our way, but it happens. But just bring it your best stuff every inning. Minka, he proved that his last outing. Before, he had a couple of first inning where he didn't get his best stuff, but after that, he gave his best stuff and got good results. So when you take your foot off the gas, you'll get beat. So we're just trying to keep our foot on the gas the whole game.
We saw you get into a little bit of a jam in the 5th inning. Coach coming out to talk to you for just a second. What did he say, and how did you change your approach in that moment?
He just asked me what I was feeling. I told him I'm not coming out of this game. It's not happening. I saw a lefty coming up. I knew that's my bread and butter right there. That's my out to get. And I didn't want to put the bullpen in the spot where they had to get a mandatory out with a runner on scoring position. So just told him I was going to stay out there. He believed in it. He said 100% I wasn't taking you out anyway. So he just kept going and got the out.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rob. Really appreciate it.
The Kettleers Interns and the very popular t-shirt toss is brought to you by Paul J. Casalt & Sons, certified roofing experts, proudly serving Cape Cod and Plymouth since 1927. If you've got roofing, siding, or gutter needs, let the Casalt family take care of your family.
Be safe and comfortable in your home in any season with a Generac automatic standby generator from RCA Electric and Generators in Mashpee. RCA does it all, from consultation to installation to maintenance. For more information, visit rcaelectric.com. RCA Electric and Generators in Mashpee, generating trust.
Kettleers Baseball is brought to you by Mid-Cape Oral Surgeons, the maxillofacial surgery and dental implant center of South Yarmouth. Doctors Thea Herodis, Meyer, and Sarapak are the Cape's leading experts in oral biopsies, wisdom teeth extractions, and dental implant reconstructive surgery.
In Cotuit and surrounding towns. Visit them at 681 Falmouth Road in Mashpee. That's the Callans from Kinlan Grover Compass.
Ket's Baseball is brought to you by Beacon Gardens, Osterville's premier garden center. You'll find everything you need to beautify your home at Beacon Gardens, where quality products and excellent customer service make them Osterville's premier garden center. Visit Beacon Gardens on Osterville and West Barnstable Road.
Wake up to Cape Cod's finest coffee. Cape Cod coffee roasts fresh daily using only the finest beans. With a wide variety of options, from light to dark, flavored to decaf, there's something for everyone. Visit locally in Mashpee Commons and off Route 130 in Mashpee, or venture over the bridge to Wareham Crossing, where each location offers a full bar and menu. Proudly supporting the Cotuit Kettleers, Cape Cod Coffee is passionate about our brews and our community.
You'll be ready to power up when the power goes out with generator maintenance and service from RCA Electric in Mashpee. From preventative maintenance plans to 24/7 emergency service, trust RCA to keep your generator humming. Call us or visit rcaelectric.com. RCA Electric and Generators in Mashpee, generating trust.
Beacon Gardens is a proud sponsor of the Kets, Osterville's premier garden center. Located on Osterville, West Barnstable Road, Beacon Gardens prides itself on quality products and excellent customer service. Check out their tremendous assortment of garden products. That's Beacon Gardens, Osterville's premier garden center.
Boston Hand to Shoulder, trusted orthopedic specialist for athletes and everyday people, is your go-to team for Boston's professional athletes and people across New England. So if an injury is slowing you down, Boston Hand to Shoulder is now on Cape Cod. Call 617-965-HAND for all your hand and upper extremity needs. Go Cats!
Need an ice cream fix this summer? Stop by the Four Seas Ice Cream in Centerville.
It's game 34 of the Cape League season here at beautiful Lowell Park, meeting against the Brewster Whitecaps of the East Division, an interdivision clash with the West Division Cotuit Kettleers. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Connor Shue, joined by Chris Albright and Brooke Kilgore on the mics, and some friends. Later on in this game, we'll talk more about that as this one draws on. But the Kettleers, last time they played this Brewster team, won 19-3 right here on this field, Chris.
Well, that was arguably the best offensive performance we've seen from Cotuit. And you could even say the past half decade, it was just nonstop action from the bats.
And we're going to go to the national anthem for a moment, for a quick break.
The Kettleers Call to the Bullpen is brought to you by longtime Cotuit residents Pat and John Callahan of Kinlan Grover Compass. With over 4 decades of experience in commercial lending and real estate, Pat and John are the go-to choice for all things in real estate in Cotuit and surrounding towns. Visit them at 618 Falmouth Road in Mashpee. That's the Callahans from Kinlan Grover Compass, proud sponsors and longtime fans of the Kettleers.
Boston Hand to Shoulder are a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers, trusted orthopedic specialist for athletes and everyday people. Their expert team treats everything from sports injuries to everyday wear and tear, helping patients of all ages get back to what they love. Boston Hand to Shoulder is now on the Cape. Call 617-965-HAND for all your hand and upper extremity needs.
Be safe and comfortable in your home in any season with a Generac automatic standby generator from RCA Electric and Generators in Mashpee. RCA does it all from consultation to installation to maintenance. For more information, visit rcaelectric.com. RCA Electric and Generators in Mashpee, generating trust. We're back here at Lowell Park. Chris Albright. I'm Connor Shue for the 4th installment of the Kettleers matchups with the Brewster Whitecaps right here at Lowell Park on a very overcast evening on this Sunday afternoon. We're towards the bottom part of the season. The Kettleers getting tight in postseason position in the West Division. They're in the 3rd spot after a loss to Bourne last night, but still above Falmouth and Hyannis, locked into the 4 and 5 spots.
Well, it will be a close race until this season ends, partner. The top 4 teams in each 5-team division make the postseason. Cotuit currently sits at 3rd. The point differential separating 2nd place and 5th place is only 5 points. That's 2 wins and a tie. So with still 6-7 games to play for the rest of the season, I mean, it's so much is still up in the air. Just because 1 win, 1 loss can jump you into and out of playoff contention just like that, it's still anybody's game and anybody's race. All these wins and all these points that you can get just mean a little bit more.
Cotuit's won 3 of their last 4 coming into this one, following a 4-game losing streak. Coming up to bat first will be the Brewster Whitecaps. Chris, how does that lineup stack up?
Oh, for Brewster, there's plenty of big bats still in the lineup, especially at the top of this lineup card. Adam Magpock will lead things off for the Whitecaps. He's quick. He leads the Whitecaps in stolen bases with 22 on the season, so Cotuit needs to do a good job of limiting him on the base paths today. Magpock leads off. Brandon Lawson hits 2nd. He's doing the designated hitting duties. Brody Delamalier bats 3rd. Maddox Mikalakis bats 4th. Dalton Wentz bats 5th. Colin Priest 6th. Carson Kirst bats 7th. And wrapping it up, Carson Tinney batting 8th and Scott Newman batting 9th.
And doing the pitching for Cotuit, making his first start of the summer after 3 relief appearances, is Gavin Jones, the Kent State starting arm. What does the defense look like behind him?
Now, the infield and outfield looking more and more set in stone. This is the same infield-outfield we saw last night against Bourne. At first base, it will be Case Sanderson. At second base, Luke Matthews. At short, Ryan Farber. And at third, Camden Johnson. The outfield from left to right, Dean West, Caden Bogenpole, and Nolan Stevens. The only difference is Taggart Tyson is doing the catching today for Gavin Jones.
Taggart Tyson getting his first start behind the dish in a couple of games. It's been a good stretch over the past week of baseball for the Kettleers, going 3-2 in their past 5 days, including 3 wins over in-division opponents. 11-0 over Hyannis, 6-2 over Falmouth, and 2-1 over number 1 team in the West, the Wareham Gatemen. They dropped a tough one last night against Bourne, though, 5-4 in walk-off fashion.
It was a tough game for Cotuit. It was one that, for about 10, 15 minutes, you thought Cotuit was going to win. It was tied at the end of the 9th inning. Both teams knotted at 2. We went to the top of the 10th, and Cotuit started out the inning about as best as you could, plating 2 runs before an out was even recorded. And then that's when things began to get a little dicey. At the bottom of the 10th, new arm for Cotuit came out. Ryan Egan took things over and gave up 3 runs in the bottom of the 10th. Bourne able to walk off Cotuit in a bit of heartbreaking fashion. I mean, Cotuit was playing so well, especially pitching all the way up until the 10th inning. Some great relief appearances from Chase Carson and Dylan Scudder. So Cotuit, you know that the talent-wise is still there. You know the arms are still there. You know the bats are still there. It's just a matter of keeping them all on the same page game by game as we progress further on in this season.
It's a final stretch of the season that'll get tight for the Kettleers. They have their last off day tomorrow before returning to Hyannis after hosting them right here last Thursday. They'll play them on Tuesday, and then they get Harwich at home, Orleans on the road, then a couple more home games against Wareham and Bourne, and then they will finish it out on the road against Falmouth before hopefully playing in the postseason. If the season ended right now, the Kettleers would be in the 3 spot in the West. They are 14, 17, and 2. The only teams above them, Bourne, 15, 16, and 2, in second place, and Wareham, 18 and 15, standing pat first place in division. They have been dominant overall. And Brewster on the other side is in a similar spot, trying to hold on to their 3rd place spot.
They really are. And the East is not as close of a race as the West is. It's still pretty tight, but there's a bit of a larger gap between 4th and 5th place. Orleans in the 4th place spot currently has 34 points. Chatham in 5th with 31 points. So as the East teams begin to play each other some more, it becomes more must-win for Chatham. But Brewster's on the right side of things. They currently sit 4 points above the playoff line threshold. They have been playing some solid baseball. Had a close loss last night against fellow Eastern Division foe Harwich. That one a 9-8 loss. So Brewster is still in good contention. They're really being helped out by their 6-game win streak to start this season back in June. That's kind of what's been keeping Brewster afloat here. Brewster
coming off a tough 8-9 loss against Harwich at home. They won their previous game against Falmouth 5-2, but they have dropped 3 of their last 4 coming into this one. Adam Magpok, the batter, switch hitter, swinging it left-handed to face off against the right-hander Gavin Jones, who threw around 70 innings at Kent State this past spring. His first pitch hit high in the air out into left center field. Dean West camping under it to make out number 1. First pitch at 4:33 local time here in beautiful Cotuit, Massachusetts.
4:30 start time here as the days get a little bit shorter as the season has drawn on. Cotuit playing at Lowell Park with no lights. They've bumped up their typical 5 o'clock start time, so we're hoping to have this game done before sundown.
Jones looks home. First ball he's thrown today. This is his first start in a Kettleer uniform. 3 relief appearances to this point, an ERA just over 10 for the Golden Flash. His teammate off to his left in the infield, Luke Matthews over at second base. Those two have seen plenty of time on the diamond together. Now he faces off against Brendan Lawson, the DH from Florida. He went 3 for 5 in last night's game, all singles, in a game where Brewster plated 8 runs and had 13 hits as a team, but all of them only a singles. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. That's a strike. The Whitecaps after this one, they'll play Bourne at home. They're starting to play their home games at 4 o'clock. Ripped on the ground towards second. Easy play for Luke Matthews. He retires. Lawson, 2 down.
Yeah, these are a couple of teams that play their home games at ballparks with no lights. 2 of the 3 fields here on Cape that aren't lit up. So these guys are used to playing some early afternoon games that are done before you go and get dinner.
I think some are hoping this one ends at around 7 o'clock so you can go get dinner with your family, and I think the players are hoping that as well here on Host Family Appreciation Night.
It is Host Family Appreciation Night here at Lowell Park. One of the special things about Cape League Baseball is, it's so hard to get housing here on Cape during the summer just because of the influx of people. So host families are families within the Cotuit Village that open up their homes for players during the summer.
Farber retires Brady DeLamalier. 3 up, 3 down first frame for Gavin Jones. We're going to the bottom of the first here. Cotuit up to bat next.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
At Cape Cod Healthcare, we're committed to excellence and compassion in everything we do, like helping people maintain their active lifestyles. Our innovative orthopedic program combines advanced techniques and leading-edge technology with highly specialized teams, including our nationally recognized Center of Excellence for Joint Replacement. Our focus is getting you back to doing the things you love, in the place you love.
The Center of Excellence and the quality of care that we can deliver makes all the difference to the patients. They understand that they can get the best care right here on Cape Cod.
We're offering 0% for 60 months on CAT's new lineup of compact track loaders. That's 0% for machines that have been redesigned from the ground up. 0% for new features and big comfort.
Nice cab, heated seat, great machine.
0% for more power and performance.
Picked up a big 4,000-pound block like it was nothing.
0% for work tools too. But there's a 0% chance this offer will last. So contact Milton Cat before there's 0 time left.
Ryan Peach, the right-handed pitcher, starts this one for Brewster. He's made 2 appearances, 1 start, 5 innings of scoreless baseball for the Xavier University Musketeer.
And the Musketeer will have to face some Cotuit bats that really lit up on Brewster the last time these 2 teams met. Camden Johnson will be leading things off for Cotuit. He'll be followed by Ryan Farber, then Caden Bogenpole. Jack Natilli, the designated hitter, hits from the cleanup spot. Dean West will bat 5th, Case Sanderson 6th, 7, 8, and 9, Luke Matthews, Nolan Stevens, and Tagger Tyson.
Stevens, Natilli, and Farber were the 3 batters that went back to back to back. 3 straight homers against Brewster that last game, which was played, 2 weeks ago. At this point, it feels like it just happened. Oh, looking at the schedule, that's more like 3.5. Jeez.
I'll tell you, time is flying. I mean, July is almost over, and Cotuit has been solid the entire month.
Peach looks home. His first pitch lined hard in the air, foul. Cam Johnson's the leadoff man. He's really settled into that role lately. Has led off in 6 of the last 7. Peach, the righty dealing against him. It's Johnson, Farber, Bogenpole, lefty, switch, lefty. So essentially 3 lefties against the right-hander Peach. 1-1 is the count. Peach missed his entire freshman season at Xavier with an injury, but came back strong in 2025. Was an All-Big East second-teamer. Had a .430 ERA, tossed just under 60 innings. Peach, the 1-1. Lined over the head of the third baseman. That drops for a knock. Cam Johnson leads this one off with a single. and he gets into second, safely digging for two. Took advantage of the left fielder, Delamalier, taking his time getting to that baseball.
We've seen that multiple times throughout this summer, Connor, where Camden Johnson is able to shoot a ball opposite field, get it down that left field line, and because it's a bit of a longer throw, he's able to take a wide turnaround first, and with his speed, why not go for two? He's got the wheels to do it, and now the Kets have a runner in scoring position.
Ryan Farber will step in. The left side is his power side. He hit each of his home runs from that side of the plate. For Johnson, that was his 5th double of the season. Has 6 extra base hits. Still looking for that first long ball. He's got a good lead off second. That's a first pitch strike to Farber. Farber, a .275 average on the Cape League season. In a slight bit of a cold stretch, hitless in the last 2 games. Strike 2. The umpiring crew in this one. Anthony Letizio calling the balls and strikes. Ryan Demare at first. JC Fernandez at third. Letizio was the first base umpire last night at Bourne. No out base runner on second is Johnson. Peach fires home. Hit high in the air off to the left side, sinking fast into the glove of the shortstop, Carson Curse. 1 down. Here's Caden Bogenpole. He's coming off a hitless day, but he had back-to-back multi-hit games before that. Went 2 for 2 with an RBI double and single the game before. Had another RBI double in the game previous to that against Hyannis. Ryan Peach, the Xavier righty, facing off against Caden Bogenpole. He's a bat with plenty of power.
Well, we've seen it just with the speed of his hits. They might not be going the distance, clearing the outfield fence, but they get out of the infield in a hurry.
Haven't seen him lift the ball as much as he did at school. 33 homers across 2 seasons at Missouri State. 1 long ball this summer, and it was hit on a line out to dead center right here at Lowell Park over that 397 marker. Was well into the trees. I think 413 was the distance on it.
And that might be a little short.
Hit it well over 100 miles an hour. Breaking pitch hits the corner. 0-2. After a tough first count against Cam Johnson, Peach has dialed it in against Farber and Bogenpole. Bogenpole, a tall 6'6" build, plays center field. Maybe projects more as a corner guy in the majors, but he has the speed and the tracking ability to go out there and make plenty of plays in center, which we've seen him do this year.
He covers a lot of ground in center field, and he's shown off his arm as well, too. He was able to gun a runner at third last night against Bourne.
Essentially saved a run. The 0-2 is inside and high.
And we'll see a lot of pitches upstairs as that ball just got past the pitcher, Peach, on the throw back. We'll see a lot of pitches elevated in the zone from Peach. He relies a lot on his fastball. In fact, he'll use it about 75% of the time. And we've seen his curveball a couple of times today. It started at the top of the zone and broke into it, rather than starting in the zone and breaking down from it.
Peach the 1-2, taken inside. Ryan Peach, 59 2/3 innings, 65 strikeouts at school. Has a fastball that's tough to read. Sits around 94 on the radar gun. There was a slight drizzle earlier here at Lowell Park. It's been kind of on and off since first pitch. It's one of those days that just you think rain is looming the whole time, and hopefully it stays away. There isn't much in the forecast. It's a calm 70 degrees. Runner goes, and Tinney lost it. Bogenpole works a walk, and Johnson has third base.
The catcher Carson Tinney was more worried about Camden Johnson taking third than he was receiving the baseball from Peach. It just popped out of his glove, and it ended up going over the head of home plate umpire Anthony Leticio, bouncing off his back, kind of like a rainbow arc above him. But now the Kets have runners on the corners with only one out.
It's a stolen base for Johnson, his 15th of the summer. He is far and away the leader of the Kettleers in that stat. Now here's Jack Natilli, who's the leader by far in home runs. Has 6. Looping breaking ball is a strike. 20-mile-an-hour difference between that curveball and his fastball. Really hard to time up Peach. One of the best arms in the Big East. Here comes his 0-1. Peach pitching with runners on the corners. It's scoreless. Johnson on third, Bogenpole on first. Johnson reached with a hustle double. Bogenpole with a walk. Peach slings. Good take by Natilli.
Now, Natilli, you look at how far back his left leg typically is, and you look at how it is now. Just from the naked eye, this is not as far back as he normally puts it. In fact, it looks like he's trying to push this baseball out towards right field. It's a bit of a more closed stance, even though it is more open than most.
Strike 2. It's funny, he's been hitting a lot of balls to the opposite side of the park. So his approach may be favoring that as the season goes on.
His opposite field power is second to none.
4 of his 6 homers have gone over the right field fence. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Peach collects strikeout number 1.
Natilli, at the beginning of the season, was really doing a good job, especially come early July, of limiting the strikeouts. His plate discipline has still been there. In the past 5 or so games, though, he's been struck out now 7 times and walked none. So the catcher, he's got a good eye at the plate. It's just pitchers are starting to find out where to make a miss.
9 walks to 27 strikeouts to this point. Dean West, a patient hitter. 15 walks to only 11 strikeouts at this point in the season for the Bruin. Just took a borderline pitch there, and that's what you have to deal with if you're a pitcher working against Dean West. Won't swing at anything unless it's on the heart of the plate. The 1-0. That just hit the corner, but again, that's not one West is going to go for unless he's got 2 strikes and he has to protect.
He's got a very conservative approach at the plate, and it allows him to not just work a high count, but force the pitcher to throw to him.
Peach the 1-1. Swing and a miss. The rare whiff for Dean West.
There's that curveball from Peach. He doesn't throw it often, but when he does, he's been doing a good job of placing it where he wants.
That one was pretty much middle cut, but it started above West's head. Two down, flared foul. Johnson on third, Bogenpole on first. Silent auction going down on the concourse under a tent.
Is there a lot of traffic?
Doesn't look like it from our vantage point. There's plenty of stuff on sale. I think there's a free round of golf at a local country club in there. The 1-2 runner goes. Bogenpole sliding in time just before the tag of Dalton Wentz. Second stolen bag of the frame for Kettleers base runners.
You don't see the 6.5-foot tall Bogenpole swipe a bag all too often, but he's done it well this summer. He's 2 for 2 on stolen bases now.
Take him when you can get him. Bogenpole at school actually went a lot more. He was 8 for 11. Albeit in 54 games compared to 20 he's played so far. The first baseman, Colin Priest, plays that unassisted to leave 2 on. 1 hit, 1 walk issued by Ryan Peach. No runs here in the bottom of the first. It's scoreless here at Lowell Park going into the top of 2.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Gavin Jones out for inning number 2 after a flawless first frame. Went 1-2-3 for the top half of the Brewster order. He faces against Maddox Mikalakis, Dalton Wentz, and Colin Priest.
This is a middle third of the Brewster lineup that, with the feature of Mikalakis, there's now some new faces. This will be his 5th game played now for Brewster this season. And you compare him with guys like Dalton Wentz, who's now played 31. I mean, that's just a lot of discrepancy. So you have a good mix of new faces and guys who have been around the block.
Mikalakis, this is his 5th game on Cape. Played 63 at Arizona this past year. He was their everyday third baseman. Well, at least most days. He actually got a lot of work in the DH spot as he swings and misses. Played 2 games at first as well.
U of A, they've got a good ball program down in Tucson. We were talking with Peyton Manka about that a couple of days ago.
Here comes the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Only 3 pitches necessary for Gavin Jones' first strikeout of the day.
You saw Jones working a lot of breaking balls in the dirt, kind of to the opposite tune of what Ryan Peach has done. Gavin Jones can get guys fishing, as evident with that strikeout of Mikalakis there.
You know, he looks a lot more comfortable coming out as a starter than in relief, and it makes sense. He was a Friday starter at Kent State this past spring, and he's bringing that pedigree here on Cape. Outfield shifts to their lefts against the left-handed swinging Dalton Wentz. He can swing it on both sides. He's coming off a 4-for-5 day against Harwich. The 1-0 to him. That's a ball. Just a touch outside. Wentz this season hitting .255, Cape League All-Star. 3 balls, no strikes.
Wentz has done a good job of legging out some of those extra base hits. He's got 5 doubles, and that's the most on this Brewster Whitecaps roster right now.
Works a 4-pitch walk. His 13th of the summer, which is a solid number, but man, the strikeout totals have been brutal for him. 37 strikeouts to this point, but he clearly has some plate discipline to counter it.
You can call him one of those types of 3 true outcome players. A walk, a strikeout, or a base knock.
Now it's Colin Priest, the left-handed swinging first baseman. We saw him the first 2 times. Or I think it was just the first time these teams met. And the Clemson first baseman has struggled to this point. A 167 batting average. 5 extra base hits for a guy who packed a lot of pop at Clemson. Big swing on that one. 11 doubles, 12 homers with Clemson as a Tiger. They were pretty good this season, as usual. 45 wins to 18 losses, near the top of the ACC.
A lot of good baseball in the Carolinas, both north and south. I think Coastal Carolina's in south, right? Conway, South Carolina?
South Carolina, yeah. And they faced LSU in the final of the College World Series this year. Here's Colin Priest. Jones, the 2-1, outside. Colin Priest has been all over in terms of summer ball. In the 2024 summer, he played with Leesburg, the Lightning of the Florida Collegiate Summer League. And the year before that, he played in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League that's barely a strike. He played with the Jetbox Baseball Club.
What a name. Where's Jetbox from?
Sterling Heights, Michigan. No reference to the town at all? Huh.
Well, I think we need to now look up Sterling Heights.
The pitch, swing and a miss. Strikeout on 3-2 count. Gavin Jones has retired each batter this inning via the strikeout.
Yeah, when he gets those swinging strikes, they typically follow afterwards. He's done a great job here in his start today. This is an opportunity where he gets to command the game from the start. He doesn't have to play from what's already been put in front of him, and he's doing a good job commanding the tempo and pace of what he's doing on the mound.
Jones now faces Carson Curse, a familiar face for the Brewster Whitecaps, as there's a throwback to First Not in Time, but Curse has played in every game between these two teams. Curse taking a moment outside the box. It's a 1-0 count to him. There's a 2-out base runner on first. That's Dalton Wentz. He worked a walk. Curse is the shortstop today for Brewster. Throw back. The second time they've tried to get Wentz on the back pick. Curse steps back in. Jones trying to get out with a quick inning. He is at 23 pitches to this point, working efficiently. That's inside. Almost drew Curse off the plate. This is Jones' fourth appearance this summer, his first start. Looking really good to this point. He fires the 3-0. Bullseye. So what's the beat on the Jetbox Baseball Club?
Well, it's been a baseball club since 1969, an adult amateur team.
Runner goes, and no throw down as the walk was worked by Carson Curse. But as you were saying.
Yeah, so Well, the Jetbox Baseball Club was founded in 2002 as an extension of the Jetbox 18 and over adult baseball team. Oh, it's not Jetbox 18, it's just the Jetbox. That was the name of the team for an adult amateur league. And I guess they've been very successful. They've won 10 league titles.
Jetbox or wagon.
I've still not really found out why it's called Jetbox. I know there's a lot of aviation up in that part of America, in the Great Lakes area. So maybe something like that.
I'm looking up Jetbox, and I think it's a shipment company that delivers things via jets. I don't know how that relates to Sterling, but potentially that's where it was founded. Hardliner towards third. 8 up Johnson. Everyone's going to be safe. Runners at first, second, and third, and Johnson is doubled over. I think that one got him in the stomach.
I don't know if he'll be able to sing baritone for a couple weeks. That took a very bad hop.
Johnson is in a world of pain. Hopefully he's all right, but still doubled over. Caitlin Victor, the trainer out there with him. Next batter up is Carson Tinney. Or that was Tinney that grounded towards Johnson. He's on first. Newman. Scott Newman is the next batter. If you're scoring at home.
Scott Newman currently talking with head coach Lauren Hibbs just outside of the circle of dirt around home plate.
Just talking shop.
Two guys from the Carolinas. Scott Newman playing at USC Upstate. Coach Hibbs with plenty of time in Charlotte at UNC Charlotte.
Jamie Shevchik is out of his dugout as well to go to talk to Lauren Hibbs about the state of affairs.
There are very few people on this planet feeling more pain than Camden Johnson right now. And this is a very deserved pause and play as he's trying to collect his breath.
Looks like he's got it up on 2 feet. It's a standing O.
Well, he's battling. He is battling.
He returns to his position. Hat's back on. I think he's ready to go.
Well, a lot of people understanding what Camden Johnson just went through. I'll tell you what, he's a fighter out there right now.
I remember the Harwich game. I think he got hit in the shin in the batter's box late in that one, and he was down for maybe 5 minutes and walked it out and got back in and finished up the game. So he's back at his position over at third base. Scott Newman, the center fielder, batting ninth. He's in the right-handed batter's box, hitting with bases juiced. First pitch strike from Gavin Jones. He hit 19 homers for USC Upstate this year. In addition to 10 doubles, drove in 60 runs. Big swing and miss. He was their everyday center fielder, and he's played plenty of center here with Brewster. Has started 8 games out there. Jones the 0-2. Shot high in the air down the first baseline. Sanderson chasing it down. Matthews calls him off and makes a spectacular grab in foul territory. Jones leaves all three base runners on. Walked two, let one on with an error, but struck out two and got out with a scoreless frame. We're going to the bottom of the second, scoreless, here at Lowell Park.
Dream it. If you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
There hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
Jones completed 2 clean innings after leaving the bases loaded in the second. We're in the bottom half of that frame here, and there's a new pitcher coming in relief of Ryan Peach. It is the left-hander out there, Mitch Dye. Or no.
Looks like Zach Bates is out there, the lefty out of Illinois.
College teammates.
Yeah.
This is a pretty Illini-filled staff. Tyler Schmidt was here earlier this summer, made a start against Cotuit. So Zach Bates, he was a closer at school. He's coming in for some very early relief of Ryan Peach, who suffered a groin injury, according to the home plate umpire, Anthony Letizio. Getting his first warm-up pitches now, so it might be a second until he really gets going here, but you never expect early game injuries like that, so you gotta go warm your guy up as quickly as you can. I mean, no one's hot in the second inning.
Well, the good thing about this situation for Brewster is he doesn't need to work as quick as he has to. The rule is when you come in a situation like this where you aren't able to get a bullpen session, you're allowed to take as many warm-up pitches as you want. So we're all on Zach Bates' time right now, and I'm sure he'll want to make sure he's dialed before getting going in this game. But he's been looking solid just with his warm-up pitches. He's got good lateral movement on his breaking balls. He'll be out here for a minute.
So Bates, he's closed some games here. He's finished 6. Has only had 1 save, though. 270 earned run average in 13 1/3 innings pitched, 18 strikeouts. For the left-hander, Bates was a JUCO guy initially at Iowa Central Community College, then made his way to Illinois, pitched to a 2.83 ERA with 8 saves in the Big Ten this year.
Bates has done a good job this season of limiting contact against him. He's held opponents to a 188 batting average against this summer.
Here comes Case Sanderson, the first man up to bat in this frame. The first baseman moving up to the 6 hole. Bates is ready on the hill for his first offer. Well inside. Fastball moved Sanderson off his spot. Sanderson typically in the 8 or 9 hole, but he's hitting as high as he has since early in the season. Hits one hard on the line out to the left center field. Gapik gets down a base hit over the center fielder's head. That one's to the wall. Sanderson charging around second. Gets the turn all the way into third with a triple as that throw goes over the head of the third baseman. They fielded it just in time to stop him from an inside the Parker. But Sanderson, a leadoff triple.
That ball was smacked out towards the power alley. It was slicing away from the center fielder, Scott Newman, and just found some green grass between him and De La Melier. And it was honestly a really just well-struck ball. Got settled up against the fence, and Sanderson's got some wheels, able to just go with a full head of steam to third.
Case Sanderson's first triple of the season. So Luke Matthews has a nice situation to bat in, a no-out base runner on third. Plenty of space for him to drive one right back up the middle. And they are lucky that throw from De La Melier was backed up, or else Sanderson would have been home. Bates hurls. That's chopped right in front of home. Bates fires and guns him down at first base. So a very productive out for the Brewster side. Usually almost anything will score Sanderson here with no one down, but he hit it right out front.
Zach Bates, the arm for Brewster, did a good job of looking Sanderson back to third base. Kept eyes on him until he got to that baseball and held him to third until the only play he could make was to first. Did a good job of keeping Case there.
Now it's Nolan Stevens. Last time these teams met, he put the cherry on top of that home run rally. He was the third in line of 3 straight homers. Shoots one high in the air, plenty deep, enough to score Sanderson. He tags and he's on his way home. Cats on the board with the first run via sacrifice fly off the bat of Nolan Stevens.
He did what you have to do in that situation, which is just put a lot of pop on that baseball, get it deep enough for Sanderson to score, and that baseball was plenty deep. Sanderson was safe by a country mile, and Stevens continuing to be productive this summer. That was RBI number 12 for him.
Gets the Cats home for the first time today. Now Tiger Tyson bats with the bases empty. 2 down, 1 run scored off Zach Bates. He's going to be called on for much longer relief than he's used to. Ryan Peach was knocked out of the game after 1 inning despite spinning a scoreless frame. Struck out 1, walked 1, and allowed 1 hit. Here comes the 1-0. That's a strike. Nice crowd on hand here on Host Family Appreciation Night. The left side grandstand is full. The one on the right side pretty close as that tagged Tyson on the foot.
Got to see all the host families on the field pregame to take a big picture. I mean, they say it takes a village, and that is quite literally true. Here in Cotuit, an army of host families able to host players this summer. It's a good way to honor them as the season's been dying down.
I think Cam Johnson's day is done. Zanvon Schlegel in at the leadoff spot now for Johnson. So Johnson out of this one. Von Schlegel will play the duration of this one. He bats right-handed. Hitting .400 this season. He's been really productive through the 4 games he's played in. Started last night at Bourne, and he had a clutch hit to drive in the 4th run of the game. He's had some timely hitting all season, or at least the time he's been with the team.
He's done a good job of bringing guys in. He's already up to 4 RBIs on the season. This is only his 6th game now played for Cotuit.
Pitch taken outside. Bates trying to work out of trouble and limit the damage to 1 run here. Zan von Schlegel hitting .333 this summer. Shoots one high in the air on the infield. Priest calls everyone off and makes the grab head high. We're done here in the 2nd, and going to the top of the 3rd, I'm going to pass the keys off to Chris and a special guest here in the booth, Sam Reese, coming up soon for the Brewster Whitecaps, one of their broadcasters, and I'll go join him over on their booth on the radio, so I'll be back in the 5th. Everyone have fun hanging out with Sam and Chris.
Don't have too much fun without me, man. We'll see y'all soon.
When we see our patient, our philosophy is to not just take care of the isolated pathology or problem that they're here for. We look at the care of a patient as the whole patient, how they hold hands with a spouse or partner, how they engage with their children or grandchildren. These are important things in the equation of how we decide optimal treatment for patients, whether that's non-operative or operative intervention. Every patient gets treated as a family member or as a pro athlete in our mind. We provide concierge level of care. That's how we want it done for our own, and that's what we continue to do here in the greater Boston area.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Back here at Lowell Park on Cape League TV, Chris Albright joined alongside Sam Reese, one of the broadcasters for the Brewster Whitecaps. We're doing a little bit of tag team today. We're going to be switching places, switching some partners, mixing things up. And we get a great look at now both teams because, Sam, you've been watching the Whitecaps all season long.
That's right. First of all, it's an honor to be on with you, Chris, and this is an absolute blast. I'm a big fan of Lowell Park, and yeah, for Brewster, coming into this game, obviously a ton of parity across the league. The Whitecaps have had win streaks of 6 and 5 this year, but they've also had their lows, so they're on a losing streak as of late. And you hope the offense can get going for this Brewster team.
A sharp one-hopper that Sanderson will take himself to the first base bag. 3 unassisted. That was Adam Magpock. It will now be Brendan Lawson and then Brady Delamalier.
You got it.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. I'll be honest with you. I butchered it in the second. But
That's all right.
Delamalier, he's been looking solid since joining your squad. You've had a lot of guys come in and out.
Yeah.
Brendan Lawson up to bat now, but you've seen a lot of faces over in Brewster this summer.
It has been crazy, to be honest. And I know that's the nature of the Cape Cod Baseball League in 2025. Lots of temporary players who are here for a little bit, and you're right. Then they're gone, and new guys coming in and kind of showing up, trying to fill in those holes.
Farber charges, spears it, throws, not in time. The speed from Brendan Lawson. He reaches on an infield single. That's the first hit of the ball game for Brewster. There's been a lot of great baseball played between these two teams. I mean, I think back all the way to, late June when we went to Stony Brook 2 times. That was some good baseball. You were talking about those win streaks, one of those to start the season. I mean, y'all started so hot over in Brewster.
It was spectacular the way this team started off hot, and you could tell there was a lot of team chemistry there. As you brought up, Chris, it hasn't helped that there's been so much roster changeover, but I do get the sense that the vibes are still high within this group. Even a guy like Brody Delamelier, who just arrived recently and is currently at the plate. He's only played 4 games. He has 6 hits for this Whitecaps team. He's playing with some of his Florida State teammates like Cal Fisher, so that certainly helps. The team chemistry has been one of the main things I've seen from these guys, despite so much change happening. That gives me hope that this team can click down the stretch.
Well, I think the team chemistry is something that we as broadcasters get to see a lot that isn't really as evident on camera because you're just watching these games. You don't get to see everyone's day-to-day life. We had a Florida State arm up here, Peyton Manka, one of the relief pitchers for Cotuit. He's teammates with Delamelier, and, I mean, he was just talking about how some of these guys have left during the summer, and, you know, you start missing them already, even though you've only known them for about a month.
It really is crazy. And I was looking...
Called strike 3 on the bottom corner of the zone. That's the 3rd punch-out of the day from Gavin Jones, the first one looking.
Yeah, it's a tough one to take for Delamelier, who, as I mentioned, has had a hot bat since arriving to Brewster. He would like to have that one back, I think, and swing at that pitch. But as I was saying, Chris, it's crazy to see. I was looking back in my book to the opening day lineup for Brewster, night and day. You know, some guys that you just forget about that were here for the first week or so. And so much time has passed since then. So many new names have come in. But I guess it's the cool part of it as well. You know, there's just so many guys that cycle through. Same with Cotuit. Maybe not to the extent of Brewster.
Yeah.
But you know, it is. And do I see the sun peeking out now at Lowell Park?
I think we do. The high clouds are starting to break. Some sunshine now splashing down across the diamond here at Lowell Park, just off Main Street in Cotuit. That ball is flared into left field, slicing towards the line, and it's down fair and will kick away from Dean West. Holding at third is Brendan Lawson as the throw goes to second. It's a double from Maddox Mikalakis, the second hit of the inning for Brewster.
And that's massive for Mikalakis, who, unlike Delamelier, they both made their debuts the same day, both arrived at the same time for the Whitecaps. Unlike Delamelier, it's taken a little bit of time for him to get in a rhythm at the plate. In fact, he was 1 for 14 heading into that at-bat right there. Just sends one down the line, fair by the slimmest of margins, and Brewster in business with 2 outs.
This will draw a meeting on the mound. Tim O'Connor going out to talk things over with Gavin Jones. This is Gavin Jones' first start of the summer, and he was on Cape last year, played with the YD Red Sox. He didn't make a single start for them either. So really a bulk of his starting job came from this past season at Kent State, and he looked impressive as a starter there. But I'll tell you what, this has been a Gavin Jones today that has been significantly, you know, on just firing on all cylinders. And we'll take a look at the screen. Do you know those guys there?
They look vaguely familiar to me. Who are those?
So that's Connor Shue and Max Gifford. I think those are our partners.
I heard they're knuckleheads.
They are.
Yeah.
You guys, everyone watching on Cape League TV instead of listening, you guys are the winners because you get to hear Sam and I and not Max and Connor.
The superior duo, right?
First pitch is swung and popped foul up into the third base grandstand area, occupied by Cotuit fans. Dalton Wentz is the batter, the switch-hitting 5-hole hitter. He is, well, this is now his second plate appearance. He was walked in his first plate appearance, made it all the way to third, a part of a trio of base runners that Brewster left stranded in the second inning. Counts 0-1. And that's spiked off the chest protector of Tyson. Coming in to score is Lawson. And this game's tied 1-1.
Yeah, just one that couldn't make it to the plate from Jones. Those command issues really haven't been prevalent for him. You know, maybe looking at his stats through his first 3 appearances out of the bullpen, perhaps, you know, walking more batters than he'd like. But tonight, you've been seeing his best stuff up until this point, so a bit of an uncharacteristic toss to the plate that gets in the dirt, and Brewster there to capitalize with the base running.
Well, he's just 1 out away from getting out of this inning. This could be it. Farber gloves, the throw to first does its justice. Brewster gets one back. The Whitecaps score 1 run on 2 hits, leave a runner on base. Bottom of the third coming up here on Cape League TV.
Hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
When we see our patient, our philosophy is to not just take care of the isolated pathology or problem that they're here for. We look at the care of a patient as the whole patient, how they hold hands with a spouse or partner, how they engage with their children or grandchildren. These are important things in the equation of how we decide optimal treatment for patients, whether that's non-operative or operative intervention. Every patient gets treated as a family member or as a pro athlete in our mind. We provide concierge level of care. That's how we want it done for our own, and that's what we continue to do here in the greater Boston area.
Bottom of 3 at Lowell Park. This game is tied 1-1 between the Kets and the Whitecaps. Chris Albright joined alongside Brewster Whitecaps broadcaster Sam Reese. Sam, we've seen a lot of fun baseball between these two teams. Kind of hit on it. It seems that these matchups, especially East-West, they're a little bit more intense sometimes than typical divisional matchups. But I mean, it's been fun each time these teams have faced.
It has been, and maybe the last time the Whitecaps were here at Lowell Park, it was only fun for one side. That would be Cotuit.
I'll rub it in a little bit.
Yeah, I know what you're doing there, but I'm sure Cotuit had a lot of fun in that game. And hey, I will say, the one good thing Brewster got out of it, believe it or not, is that it kind of was a wake-up call for them. It sparked a plug, and Brewster followed that historically bad loss up with a 5-game win streak, so at least that's a positive you can take out for the Whitecaps. But my goodness, I had never seen anything like that, Chris. 14 runs in a single inning. That was something. It
was something that, Connor and I were talking. We had just never seen it before either.
No.
It will be Ryan Farber, Caden Bogenpole, and Jack Natilli up for Cotuit this inning. I mean, that 6th inning where Cotuit scored 14 runs, it kind of got to the point where we were like, okay, when's it kind of going to die off? And then right towards the end, Cotuit went back to back with the home runs. But like you were saying, sometimes it's just that wake-up call that can ignite a little win streak there. You guys really propelled towards the top of the Eastern Division after that.
Yeah, it was needed. We've discussed it, but it was a Brewster team that started off red hot, but has had its slumps, and that was the lowest of lows, really.
This ball is tagged towards center field. Scott Newman, all he needs to do is take a couple steps to his left to make that catch. A quick out here in the top of the third, and up will step Caden Bogenpole, who worked a walk in his first plate appearance. He has a great eye at the plate. 50-plus walks in each of his 2 seasons with Missouri State so far. And he's got a lot of power, too. Hasn't had a home run since his first game here on Cape. So looking for more. I mean, and to Cotuit's extent, going back to that game, I don't want to bring it up too much for you, but that was a part of a really good start to July that the Kettleers had. Cotuit started the month 8-3-1, going from the cellar of the Western Division to at one point tied for first in the West. And Connor and I, we've been talking on it all summer. There's just so much fluctuation in the Cape League this season. I don't think I've seen a closer year in terms of records, in terms of point differential. It's just crazy.
It's unbelievable. Over the whole league, there isn't a really bad team and there isn't a really good team. There's no team with more than 18 wins and no team with fewer than 13 wins. It's a 5-win difference across the entire league.
A swing cut on and missed there from Bogenpole. 92 miles per hour out of the hand of Zach Bates. A couple of guys on the mound today for Brewster that favor that fastball. Brian Peach's day was cut short. He was looking good in his first inning. 2-1. Outside.
It was really unfortunate to see Peach have to come out early. That was not the plan by any means. He was dealing with a groin injury through just an inning of work, and that's someone who was a weekend starter for Xavier, wanted to ramp up what he was doing here on the Cape, making his second start of the summer. Still has a perfect ERA through his 6 innings of work, but you wished he could have gone longer.
High pop-up right near home plate. Carson Tenney ditches the mask and makes the catch. 2 high flyouts, 1 to center and 1 just to the catcher here to start the third. Jack Natilli, the designated hitter today, he's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And Jack Natilli has had himself a summer. I mean, it got to the point where it wasn't just known in Cotuit. It seemed to be known across Cape.
Oh, yeah. He was taking the league by storm when he was, what is it? Is it 3 Grand Slams? He has 2 Grand Slams. 3, I was right.
Yeah, he had a walk-off grand slam just a couple days ago against Hyannis. That ball's ripped on a line to short, and Keir spears it. A 1-2-3 inning worked by Zach Bates. Kets go down in order. This game will stay tied as we head to the 4th on Cape League TV.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
There hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
Chris Albright joined alongside Sam Reese. Gavin Jones is out on the bump for his 4th inning of work tonight in this tied ball game. Each team with 1 run on 2 hits. There's a good look at our partners again. They're calling radio for Brewster. And you guys, in the Cape League, you split the radio and TV. Yep. Whenever your team's on the road, you do radio, and whenever your team's at home, you do TV. And as Max and Connor are doing radio, Sam, I'll ask you this. Which one do you like more?
That's very hard to answer. I'm going to be honest with you, Chris. I know I'm kind of staying on the fence here. If I had to choose, I would honestly say radio probably. But I do love the art of a TV call.
Colin Priest loops one into shallow right field, and it gets away from Stevens. Priest takes a turn for second. The throw there, not in time. Call it a single for Colin Priest. Looks like that might be an error on Nolan Stevens. Out in right field. Heads up base running from Priest.
It was. And that's something that's impressed me the most about this Brewster offense. You know, defense is another story. The Whitecaps recently have been making too many errors in the field, but offensively, lots of heads-up base running, and that's been a common theme for this Whitecaps team. Rarely do they fail to capitalize on a mistake from the opposing defense, and that was a great example of it.
Carson Kirst now up. He takes a first pitch strike.
But going back to your question, Chris, I do a lot more play-by-play on the radio at school, at Syracuse University, which back in high school with my limited experience, I actually did a lot more TV stuff. So that was kind of new for me, doing a lot of radio. And I've kind of fallen in love with it. I'm not going to lie. I do like calling a game on the radio where, you I like the idea of painting the picture for the listeners and really telling the story of the game for those listening. Now, of course, TV is more chill, and I do really appreciate that. And it is it is a skill, for us on the air to kind of make that adjustment between home and away games, where on TV you can be more relaxed. And I do like, how TV's a whole effort with the production crew and making it all possible. It's a great joint effort. But I do love myself a good radio call. I do. How about yourself?
Again, a very loaded question.
Sure.
I think of the greats like Vin Scully, who could do great at both.
Right.
And I wish I was good enough to do that.
Oh, come on. Give yourself some credit.
I think Vin Scully is a great person to look up to in this industry. Kind of like you. I like both. It's a bit of a cop-out answer, but if I had to choose, I am a fan of the radio style of calling, just where you're able to talk about everything. I know listening to Kevin Harlan, a great sportscaster on the radio, he does such a great job. He'll tell you the players' uniform colors, it seems, every 10 minutes or so. Oh, check swing. Did he go? No, sir. Carson Curse works a walk for the second time today. That's the third walk issued by Gavin Jones.
And Curse is a player you love to have on your team. We talk about so many guys dipping early and leaving. He actually had to go home the other week, Chris, to have a surgery done underneath his eye. That couldn't be done in the area. It was continuing to bother him, so he had to go home under medical advice. Got that done. Returned about 6 days later. Was right back into the Brewster lineup. He was an all-star selection for the Caps, and Jamie Shevchuk, Brewster's manager, was heaping a ton of praise on him for deciding to come back to Brewster. That's the competitive nature of a guy like Carson Curse. There are still plenty of those type of guys who, in his case, it's rare. You don't see that often where he has to go home for a little bit, but returns to the Cape, and he's going to be a key for the Whitecaps as they make this playoff push.
Want to know the count to Carson Tenney? The catcher swings and belts one towards the left field line, and it's down. It will settle against the fence. That will score one run. Getting held at third is Carson Curse. It's an RBI double for Carson Tenney. And Brewster takes a 2-1 lead.
Carson Tenney has just remained patient at the plate, Chris. He'll be the first to tell you that it's been a frustrating summer for him. I mean, he raked at Notre Dame, batted .348, 17 home runs, and he'll be heading to Texas for a reason. This summer, just batting .161 heading into the day, but my goodness, when he can square a ball up well, he has a ton of power.
And that will be the end of the line for Gavin Jones. The starter's day is done. Tim O'Connor will make a call to the bullpen. We'll take a break here on Cape League TV and tell you about the new arm for the Kettleers when we return.
There's a 0 chance that you'll want to miss our 0% for 72 months offer. For a limited time, CAT is offering 0% on the purchase of many new small excavators. That's 0% for better performance, 0% for next generation features.
Great machine. It's quite impressive.
0% for work tools too. But there's a 0% chance this offer will last. So contact Milton Cat before there's 0 time left. One source has it all. The pros' go-to rental choice for the newest and most reliable equipment for any job. One source that has a team you can rely on, the people and a name you trust, with the tools you need. One source with a location near you and wherever the work takes you. Milton Rents, the right equipment when and where you need it.
Brewster has a 2-1 lead over the Kettleers and the Whitecaps will have 2 on base with no one out. The new arm in the game for the Cotuit Kettleers, Michael Gray, making his Cotuit debut, but not his Cape League debut, Sam. He's been out here for the Harwich Mariners, where he appeared in 2 games, didn't give up a run in his 2 innings pitched. He walked 3 and only struck out 1.
Yeah, it's rare, but that can happen where a player plays for 2 Cape League teams in the same summer, and clearly he's doing something right. This is a Division III product out of Denison who was phenomenal this past spring, his junior year. He'll be heading to Pittsburgh to play ACC ball. And, you know, while Harwich only needed him for a couple of games, Cotuit needed some arms, picks him up, and it's a bit of a difficult spot to be put into to make your Kettleers debut with both runners in scoring position and nobody out. But let's see what the Southpaw has in store.
He'll be taking on Scott Newman to start his time here, and that first pitch is swung on and fouled away. Curse is at third, Tinney's at second, and the entirety of this Kettleers infield is playing very shallow. Nearly everyone with their toes in the infield grass. Wind is whipping out to straightaway center, aiding the batter. Well, we've seen just how quick these games can not necessarily get out of hand, but how teams can score in a hurry out here.
Absolutely. I can't tell you how many times the momentum has just completely switched for Whitecaps games throughout the summer. And even that game against Cotuit here at Lowell Park, that was a competitive ball game. It was 5-3 Cotuit heading into that 6th inning. It was kind of back and forth up until that point, and then boom, no one could have seen a 14-run inning coming.
And as much as I don't want to see that happen again, I will say I don't want Brewster to score 14 runs here. Count now runs to 2-2. On Scott Newman, he's 0 for 1 today. He fouled out in the 2nd. Looks like the skies are trying to hold for now. The sun has disappeared. It's all clouds here. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Michael Gray's first strikeout as a Kettleer. Just pulled the string on that curveball. Broke it in towards the batter. A really nice pitch from Michael Gray.
Filthy curveball, and Newman, you could tell he committed early. He did not expect the off-speed stuff from Gray. It's a good start to your Cotuit debut.
Still 2 aboard in scoring position, and now the lineup card is flipped. Magpok lays a bunt towards first base. Sanderson will just go to first to retire Magpok, but the squeeze does its job. Scoring from third was Carson Curse, and the Caps now lead 3-1.
And that's situational baseball. You know that you got runners on second and third with an out. You can afford a bunt. And Adam Magpok, that's why you love him at the top of the order. He does a little bit of everything. He hit a home run earlier this season. No one saw that coming. He has a smile on his face and does what's asked of him. He's also laid down several bunts at crucial moments this season. That was a great example. And it scores another Brewster run.
There's a couple of just solid leadoff guys here today. Well, Camden Johnson, the leadoff man for Cotuit, his day was cut short, but very similar style of play to Adam Magpok. Not a whole lot on the power standpoint of things, but you ask Camden Johnson to lay down a bunt anywhere in the infield, you point out a spot, you could point out a blade of grass, and Johnson could lay one down in that vicinity. I mean, and so just like Magpok, that's kind of what you have to do as a leadoff man.
Yep.
You get on base, you're known to advance those base runners when the lineup card flips around to you, but you do a great job of just making baseball-y plays as a leadoff man.
And that's something Jamie Shevchuk, Brewster's manager, quickly found out Magpok could do. The rise in his stock has been incredible. He started the year in and out of the lineup, and then he was the number 9 hitter through the first few weeks of the season. Kind of as, I guess you could say, that second leadoff man. And then it actually took Brendan Lawson, who's at the plate right now, missing 3 straight games for precautionary reasons, before coming back into the lineup. It took that for Jamie Shevchuk to say, all right, I'm going to give Magpok his chance in the leadoff spot, and he hasn't let go of it. Now 2 weeks and counting for Magpok in that leadoff spot, and it's not too shabby that you have Brewster's best hitter right behind him in Brendan Lawson.
He's the DH today, and the count is 2-2 on him. Fouled off. Count will stay put. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. The Kettleers are just trying to stop the bleeding. Brewster has already scored 2 in this frame, threatening with a third. There's a runner just 90 feet away in the form of Carson Tinney at third base. Michael Gray came into this ball game with 2 runners in scoring position, no outs. He's gotten 2 outs, looking for a third. 2-2. Bit of a excuse-me swing. Farber gloves it at short, and the throw's in time. 6-3 on the putout. Cotuit needed that one. Brewster with a 3-1 lead. We'll take a break. Cotuit tries to answer when we return.
The Kettleers interns in the very popular t-shirt toss is brought to you by Paul J. Casalt & Sons, certified roofing experts proudly serving Cape Cod and Plymouth since 1927. If you've got roofing, siding, or gutter needs, let the Casalt family take care of your family.
Hi, Connor Shue here. Beacon Gardens is Osterville's premier garden center. Located on Osterville and West Barnstable Road, Beacon Gardens prides itself on quality products and excellent customer service. Check out their tremendous assortment of garden products. That's Beacon Gardens, Osterville's premier garden center.
You'll be ready to power up when the power goes out with generator maintenance and service from RCA Electric in Mashpee. From preventative maintenance plans to 24/7 emergency service, trust RCA to keep your generator humming. Call us or visit rcaelectric.com. RCA Electric and Generators in Mashpee. Generating trust. Whitecaps jumped over Cotuit in the top of the 4th. Brewster scored 2 here in the top of the frame, and they've taken a 3-1 lead over Cotuit. The Kets will try to answer. It will be Dean West, Case Sanderson, and Luke Matthews coming up. And Sam, we've talked about guys that have come on mid-season and really become a part of a team. 2 of those guys for Cotuit, Dean West and Luke Matthews. Bit of mid-season additions, and boy, have they just come in and jumped headfirst into this Cotuit team, really just soaking in everything Cotuit in their time here. They've been all hands on deck.
Yeah, and for those guys, that's what impresses me, because that's not the easiest thing in the world. I mean, we're just broadcasters, not players. We're here for the entirety of the summer, like some of these guys, but there are a lot of guys such as West who come in late, and I can't imagine that's an easy adjustment, coming to a new place and having to join in the middle of the season, acclimate. So it's a testament to him acclimating so early and so soon and making an impact ever since arriving with the Kettleers, now having 20-plus games under his belt and becoming a regular starter for this team who has been an important piece, even though it took a few weeks into the season before he arrived here.
Dean West had himself a great night last night against Bourne. He went 2 for 3. Also had a pair of walks. Had an RBI in there as well. And now the count's 3-0 on Dean West. In terms of guys with a great eye at the plate for Cotuit, Dean West comes to mind, nearly front of mind. This summer, you ready for this, Sam? He's had 17 walks to only 11 strikeouts. Just great plate discipline.
It's great.
Count's now 3-1.
And that's a skill in itself. You can be a great hitter. I mean, he's batting .270. You'll take that. But to also have the plate discipline and find different ways to get on base, that's another element to his game that's effective.
Zach Bates has fought back, made it a full count. You talk about any way you can get on base, you take it. That was Dean Weston College this past spring with UCLA. He actually, I believe, set the record, the program record for most times being hit by a pitch in a season. He was getting plunked 20-plus times, I want to say.
In addition to 49 walks.
Yeah. 3-2. Swung on and flared into left field, sinking towards the line. Delamalier can't make the catch. He was drifting over the foul line, so it lands harmlessly foul.
And something about Lowell Park that's notable is the amount of foul ground here. It's a big backstop and lots of grass down both lines. So, well, that was pretty deep into foul ground. That meant Delamalier had to really get on his horse. He sprinted over, but was just a step away from making the catch.
Yeah, we don't really think much about foul ground size just because Connor and I are so used to having ample space all around the ball field here. Popped up high. This one will stay within the field of play. Calling for it is Wentz, and he makes the catch halfway between first and second for out number one.
Well, let me tell you, the complete opposite of a lot of foul ground is where I was last summer, actually, Chris. One of the more unique ballparks in the entire country, Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island, home of the Newport Gulls in the New England Collegiate Baseball League. Both dugouts are down the first base line. So there's quite literally not room for a dugout down the third base side. There's barely any foul ground. You should ask Nolan Stevens about it. He was a member of that Gulls team, a significantly different ballpark than anything you'll really see on Cape Cod.
Case Sanderson takes a first pitch strike. He tripled in his first plate appearance. That was in the second inning. I will say, Sam, we've gotten to see you and Nolan Stevens chop it up a bit this summer. You spent last summer together. And I won't gloss over it. Both dugouts were on the same foul line.
Both dugouts on the same foul line, and there were shared bullpens in the corner of left field down by the foul pole. So both bullpens would be next to each other. There wasn't enough space for anywhere else, and the main street of Newport, Rhode Island was right behind the venue. So any foul balls would go on to what's called America's Cup Ave. So the stadium is literally nestled into the heart of Newport. It's unbelievable. And then beyond the home run fence, there's houses, actually. So they quite literally built the ballpark in the middle of downtown Newport, more or less. Yeah,
They just made it fit rather
made
than
it fit. Yeah,
putting it somewhere and making everything else fit around it.
You got it.
1-2. Fouled off. That's the joy about baseball.
It's awesome.
I mean, you look at football fields, they all have to be a regulation size. You look at basketball courts, everything's cookie cutter. Baseball, I think you could make the argument that rarely do you see two fields that are alike. Everything's got their own little quirks, their own little spaces that make it unique, and that's no different, especially at the collegiate summer level. 1-2, and that plunks him. Right on the numbers. Case Sanderson reaches for the second time today. That one a lot more painful than a triple. Luke Matthews now up. He's 0 for 1. So I'll ask you this. If both dugouts had to clear in Newport, would they still meet in the middle of the diamond, or would they just go in front of their dugouts?
Chris, I really wanted that to happen selfishly. It never did all summer. Even in the championship series, I was like, surely, they'll get under each other's skin. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that because it never happened. But, yeah, there has to be so much chirping happening there.
Ripped up the middle, a one-hopper to the glove of Kearse. He'll step on second for 1 and go on to first for 2. 6-3 on the double play. Squashes any Cotuit threat. We'll take a break, and when we return, you'll hear two different voices up in the broadcast booth. The musical chairs continues here on.
Be safe and comfortable in your home in any season with a Generatic automatic standby generator from RCA Electric and Generators in Mashpee. RCA does it all, from consultation to installation to maintenance. For more information, visit rcaelectric.com. RCA Electric and Generators in Mashpee, generating trust.
It's the top of the fifth here at Lowell Park. I'm Connor Schuh, back on the broadcast, joined by Brewster Whitecaps broadcaster Max Gifford. We just completed a couple of innings down and in your territory on the first base side. It was a lot of fun as a high tapper to a charging Von Schlegel makes the throw in time for out number one. So a warm welcome to you, Max. Welcome to the booth.
Thanks so much. This is an awesome view you guys have up here. I'm very appreciative of the view we have down, situated to the right of the diamond, but you guys have it luxury up here. You get a view of the whole park. We unfortunately can't see the right field line sometimes, but other than that, I mean, it lives up to the moniker Field of Dreams.
That's what they call it, and I think we like to drop that almost every time we're up here because, you know what, we're a little biased, and who's to blame, right? First pitch outside by Gray in his second inning of work to Maddox Mikalakis, 1 for 2 with a double. Mikalakis, how long did it take you to nail down that pronunciation?
He had to tell me, that's for sure.
It's one of the tougher ones as he hits a soft tapper. Charged by Sanderson. Made it just in time. I thought Mikalakis might have beat him to the bag, but he is out at first. 2 down here in the top of the fifth.
Yeah, definitely a kind of all-team name. 3 and 4 batters with Brody Delamalier and Maddox Mikalakis. We figured out that we believe Mikalakis is Greek. Comes from a Greek origin.
Okay.
But there's no C in his entire name. It's an H. It's a silent H.
Well, we'll spell it out for you guys at home. Mihalakis. Mikalakis. How about that? And Brody Delamalier right before him in the order. That is, that's not easy. Get a lot of fly balls out to left field, and you're struggling at that point.
That's a spelling bee word type of spelling.
Oh, for sure. Wentz is up to bat. The switch hitter is batting right-handed. A walk and a ground out for him today takes a strike. Count evens at 1-1. So Sam and Chris just exited the booth here, and now they're live on the Brewster Whitecaps radio network, hanging out down there on the first baseline. How's it been calling games with Sam?
I mean, he's the best, and he is so talented. It's fun because we live together at school, so the fact that it doesn't take long for our chemistry to, I guess, come together in a sense because we live together for the rest of the year, so living with him out here isn't too much of a difference, and, I mean, working with him is a blast.
Outside fastball.
I've been very lucky over my 2 seasons here to be with guys who come from Syracuse, where I go to school, and who have been classmates of mine. I'm sure it's a little different coming from different schools like you and Chris, but it seems like you guys are still doing fantastic work up here.
It's I got to say, we hit it off immediately. He's been super easy to work with. Shout out to Chris Albright. It's been a good time working with him so far this summer, and you and Sam very familiar with our sideline reporter, Brooke Kilgore, who's actually standing right behind us.
Hi, Brooke. No, Brooke's also the best, and I love that she's gotten to do some great things out here with you guys on the Cape as well through this, what seems like really long season, but there's only a week left.
Hard grounder through the hole between second and third. A 2-out knock for Dalton Wentz. So the Caps have a 2-out base runner. You guys are trying to break into that top 2 in the East Division right now, kind of in the same spot as the Cats are in the West.
For me, it's about this team trying to make the playoffs first. Last year, they were on the wrong side of the last week of the season, ended up losing 17 of their last 18 days of the season, or at least going winless in that last 17 to 18-day stretch. So at this point, I think this team's goal is to make the playoffs. And then once you do that, then it becomes, okay, what can you do once you have that spot locked in?
Well, because last year, Harwich had, 15 wins going into the playoffs, and they went out and won the whole thing.
The last day of the season a season ago was one to remember because the bottom 3 teams in the East were all tied at 30 points, and there were maybe 20 different scenarios in which different teams got in or out. Brewster, unfortunately, did not control its own fate, in which it had to win and another team had to win, which made things very, very complicated, even though one team technically clinched, but they couldn't clinch until they played the next game, whether they won or lost.
Complicated stuff there. Hopefully it doesn't come that close for either side of this game, Cotuit or Brewster. It's been a couple of fun matchups. Well, I guess you could say that for either side, depending on the
fun.
game. Yeah, last game was pretty fun for Chris and I can't lie. But before that that's low and swiping second is Dalton West. Well, didn't matter. That one hit the zone. A very timid strike 3 call from the home plate umpire. Anthony Letizio sends us to the bottom of the 5th. 3-1. Brewster leads here on the Cape League TV.
Wake up to Cape Cod's finest coffee. Cape Cod coffee roasts fresh daily using only the finest beans. With a wide variety of options from light to dark, flavored to decaf, there's something for everyone. Visit locally in Mashpee Commons and off Route 130 in Mashpee, or venture over the bridge to Wareham Crossing, where each location offers a full bar and menu. Proudly sponsoring the Cotuit Kettleers, Cape Cod Coffee is passionate about our brews and our community.
Beacon Gardens is Osterville's premier garden center. You'll find everything you need to beautify your home at Beacon Gardens, where quality products and excellent customer service make them Osterville's premier garden center. Visit Beacon Gardens on Osterville, West Barnstable Road.
Boston Hand to Shoulder, trusted orthopedic specialist for athletes and everyday people, brings you to the Kettleers' top of the order. They're the go-to team for Boston's professional athletes and people across New England. So if an injury is slowing you down, Boston Hand to Shoulder is now on Cape Cod. Call 617-965-HAND for all your hand and upper extremity needs.
Zach Bates out there for his 4th inning of work as we take a look at the Brewster Whitecaps radio booth down the first base side. Sam Reese for the Caps, Chris Albright for the Cats down there, Max Gifford for the Caps, me, Connor Shue for the Cats up here.
Caps and Cats just rolls so good off the tongue.
They really do. I think we possess 2 of the most fun to say team names on Cape.
And some of the best color schemes as well.
Oh, absolutely. The first time I saw the Brewster Whitecaps color scheme, when you guys play at home, the Coastal Carolina-esque teal, I love that.
That's what I was going to say, is they've provided the team with a lot of teal shirts and shorts, and they wear that during batting practice, and it looks like a carbon copy of Coastal Carolina. Say that 10 times fast.
Carbon copy of Coastal Carolinas. That's a hard liner off the bat of Nolan Stevens. He's quickly retired by the second baseman, Dalton Wentz.
The one thing that does kind of throw off the color scheme is that you've got Carson Tinney behind the plate right now, donning the burnt orange for Texas. He was at Notre Dame previously and had the gold helmet, which actually stood out, but I think in a better way with the teal and navy. Now, don't get me wrong, Texas colors, absolutely iconic, but a little bit odd that it definitely clashes with the navy scheme.
It's an interesting look, and I think we are lucky that our catchers have all played at red schools. Taggart Tyson, he's going to Kentucky now, but played at Louisville last year. Jack Natilli, Cincinnati, and Luke Lavin, Stanford. So everything kind of goes together when they're wearing their school catcher's gear, because I don't think Tyson has the Kentucky blue quite yet.
We've been talking about this on our side for the Brewster side, but is Taggart Tyson the best name on the Cape so far this season?
It's really up there, but I have to look back at your side on your left fielder that we talked about a little bit earlier, Brody DeLameliere. That's incredible.
Brody DeLameliere, great name. The names that have the alliteration, Maddox Mikalakis, Taggart Tyson.
How about Maddox Maloney for Harwich?
You had Gavin Gallagher on Chatham.
Hard tapper to third. Throw made quickly in time by Mikalakis. That retired Taggart Tyson. Two all-name team guys involved in that play.
That's the one thing I haven't done yet in my 2 seasons on the Cape is develop a list of guys who are on those all-name teams, because there's so many guys that have really, really cool names. I think one of my favorites I've ever gotten to call was a Harwich pitcher last year. His name was Blake Morningstar.
Morningstar. That's a great one. I think it's never too late for you to start that list. We have, 7 games left till playoff time, so that gives you enough time to drum up a list, I think.
Stone Lawless is a good one as well.
Yeah, Bear Harrison over on, I think, Falmouth.
Correct.
There was another Stone that shot high in the air off the bat of Zen von Schlegel, giving way to the right fielder. Magpuck is Wentz for a quick out number 3. Very swift 1, 2, 3 for Zach Bates. He is through 4 complete, mowing through the Kettleers order. We're going to a quick break here on Cape League TV. 3-1 Brewster to the top of the 6th. Be safe and comfortable in your home in any season with a Generac automatic standby generator from RCA Electric and Generators in Mashpee. RCA does it all, from consultation to installation to maintenance. For more information, visit rcaelectric.com. RCA Electric and Generators in Mashpee, generating trust.
The Kettleers' top of the order is brought to you by Boston Hand to Shoulder, trusted orthopedic specialists for athletes and everyday people. Their expert team treats everything from sports injuries to everyday wear and tear, helping patients of all ages get back to what they love. Boston Hand to Shoulder is now on the Cape. Call 617-965-HAND for all your hand and upper extremity needs.
Out there for his third frame of work out of the bullpen. Coming in relief of Gavin Jones, who went 3 2-run frames. Gray yet to allow a run to the Brewster Whitecaps, who bring up 7, 8, and 9. Carson Tinney, and Scott Newman. Curse walked last time up. Tinney drove in a run on a double his last time up. Curse, the shortstop, shows bunt, pops it straight back, foul, 0-1. Curse he's been a full season guy for you guys.
Right, he has. He was actually named an All-Star heading into right before the All-Star break. He was going to be actually a left fielder. He'd only played 2 games at left field, and he was going to step into that outfield role for the All-Star game, but ultimately ended up going home because he had to get face surgery.
Oh, my gosh.
Had a little bit of an ulcer on his face.
A face ulcer?
Had a face ulcer. Was a little bit aggravated, so they had to, I guess, so-and-so drain it. I'm not sure what the actual diagnosis was, but got facial surgery and then came back.
Oh,
so didn't play in the All-Star game. Cal Fisher ended up replacing him, but, I mean, you don't see too often guys leave and come back, and more so come back after getting surgery.
No, and I feel like that's legitimately the first time I've ever heard of a face ulcer as he shoots it into right center field. Bogenpol tracks and makes the grab chest high for out number 1. Curse down on the flyout, but it's good to see him back out here on Cape, and you couldn't tell the difference.
And Brewster's manager Jamie Shevchak told me that he's only seen 3 players that have left and then ever come back for medical reasons. One of those Carson Curse. One of the other ones, notably, is right now Los Angeles Angels shortstop Zach Neto.
Wow. Zach Neto, the Campbell fighting camel, and now Angel, like you said. So he was a Whitecap, huh? Obviously, you could go through a laundry list of current and former big leaguers for any team on Cape, but he's a fun one to have in the back pocket.
And Brewster, while not necessarily having maybe the volume in terms of other teams with Major League Baseball alumni, they've got some pretty big names. Zach Neto, one of them. He's pretty much been a mainstay for the Angels. Aaron Judge is probably the biggest one. Will Smith, an all-star starter for the National League this year. And you've got guys in the making as well, I would say, that are going to be up there sooner or later.
That shot high and deep in the left, but well foul. Tenney, I think, might be one of those guys projecting as a big leaguer.
He was a finalist for the Buster Posey Award this past spring in college, getting beaten out by Caden Bodine, one of the best catchers in college baseball this year. But he's already up there with some of the best backstops in the entire country, that's for sure. Brewster only had 3 players selected in the top 100 in the Major League Baseball draft, but all 3 of them went in the first round.
Take that big cut and miss by Carson Tenney. Gray, his 3rd strikeout of the outing through 2 2/3 complete. This brings up Scott Newman playing center field, batting 9th. Who were the 3 in the first round for you guys?
So it was Ike Irish, who actually played for Chatham last season, was an all-star in Chatham, and was also an all-star in Brewster the season before that. So he went in the first round of the Orioles. Right behind him was Andrew Fisher, who started at 3rd for Brewster last year for the majority of the year. And then right at the end of that first round was Patrick Forbes. He ended up going to the Diamondbacks.
That's a pretty good 3 right there. If I remember correctly, I don't think we had the first Kettleer taken until the 2nd round, unless I'm having a total brain fart right here. Matthews retires Newman on the toss over, a 1-2-3 frame for Michael Gray. We'll talk more about the draft and all things baseball here on Cape League TV going into the bottom half of the 6th inning.
Hey, it's Chris, and when I'm looking for a cold treat, I go to 4 Seas Ice Cream in Centerville, the oldest ice cream shop in Massachusetts. They've been in business 91 years, carrying many of the same unbelievable flavors. Visit 4 Seas Ice Cream and taste the difference.
Hi, I'm Connor Shue. Kettleers Baseball is brought to you by longtime Cotuit residents Pat and John Callahan of Kindlin Grover Compass. With over 4 decades of experience in commercial lending and real estate, Pat and John are the go-to choice for all things real estate in Cotuit and surrounding towns. Visit them at 681 Falmouth Road in Mashpee That's the Callahans from Kinlan Grover Compass, proud sponsors and longtime fans of the Kettleers.
The Kettleer interns and the very popular t-shirt toss are brought to you by Paul J. Casalt & Sons, certified roofing experts proudly serving Cape Cod and Plymouth since 1927. If you've got roofing, siding, or gutter needs, let the Casalt family take care of your family.
Three 3-1 is your score. Bottom of the sixth, I'm Connor Shue, joined by Max Gifford of the Brewster Whitecaps here in the Ketts booth. So, Ryan Farber due up to bat for the Kettleers against Zach Bates, entering his fifth inning of relief for the Caps, and he has been dialing it in to this point. 33 pitches through 4 innings for Bates.
That's efficient work right there for Bates in a game that he definitely didn't expect to be in at this point, or he may have expected to be in at this point, but not this type of length.
Check that. 41 pitches. My iPad didn't refresh. That's on me. But 41 is still very efficient through 4. You'll take that.
And after Peach only threw an inning of work, and considering he didn't get a warm up in the bullpen.
Came out there and threw all his warm-ups on the hill. Faces Farber, Bogenpole, and Natillion. To answer the question about the highest drafted Kettleer, it was Charles Davalon. He was one of the competitive balance picks, number 41 overall. So no Ketts in the first round, unfortunately. He went to the Dodgers. Then it's Brandon Compton and Devin Taylor. And then after that, the floodgates opened and guys were getting picked in every round from then on.
But I'll tell you what, that Kettleers order last season with Charles Davalon leading things off and then Jared Advincula at that 9 spot. I mean, you want to talk about having 2 leadoff hitters in a row.
Man, we miss Advincula here. Tapper towards third, gloved low and thrown down just in time to catch Farber. 1 down, but man, Advincula, he was ready for that leadoff role this year after batting 9th, like you said, last year, won the batting title, and he hit 360 while he was here this year, so he didn't really skip a beat.
Well, it was always shocking why he was hitting at that 9 hole for a majority of the season last year, but he was definitely the best 9 hitter you've probably ever seen on the Cape because he ended up coming on to win the batting or to win the Cape batting title, something that was not necessarily a shock when you watch these Kettleers games last season. And the fact that both him, then you go to the top with Davalon, and he was followed by Devin Taylor, who was one of my favorite players to watch last year. I mean, we were talking about it during the break, but such a fundamental player, brings the fun. He's also just, I mean, he's exactly what you want in a ball player. He's got all the tools. He's fast. He's got power. He can field. You can't really ask for much more.
And Chris and I didn't get to meet him because, of course, he was a 2024 Ket, but we've heard from plenty of second-year, third-year Kettleers and the management that he was just as good of a guy and was good to everybody as that one sailed over Bogenpole. But 80 grade human and maybe an 80 grade hit tool, too.
That's always a fun conversation. Are these guys better people or ball players? Because I say that because these are some of the best ball players that college baseball has to offer.
So you got to be a pretty good guy to be a better person than ball player if you're a lot of these guys, but Taylor is one of the ones that I think you can, at least from what I've heard, is you can say maybe a better guy than ball player. Shout out.
And that says a lot because of how good of a ball player he is.
Certainly was just a red-hot bat at all times at Indiana for the past couple of years. That was just a touch high.
Carson Tinney didn't think so, but...
No, he was getting ready to make the relay over to third to throw around the diamond for out number 2, but nonetheless, Bates will have to fight in a full count with Caden Bogenpool, who is hitting 200 to this point, but possesses plenty of power and works a walk.
And this is the point where Bates might be starting to lose a little bit of that control. Currently a righty warming in that bullpen for Brewster, and you wonder if it might be the end of the day for Zach Bates, and I think we have your answer.
Here comes the manager, Jamie Shevchik, to pull Bates from the ball game. We'll give you more on the new reliever here momentarily on Cape League TV. When we return, a runner on first for the new pitcher for Brewster with one down here in the bottom of the 6th.
The Kettleers Call to the Bullpen is brought to you by Beacon Gardens, Osterville's premier garden center. Located on Osterville, West Barnstable Road, Beacon Gardens prides itself on quality products and excellent customer service. Check out their tremendous assortment of garden products. That's Beacon Gardens, Osterville's premier garden center.
Hey, it's Chris here. From bean to bite, sip, savor, and share a moment at Cape Cod Coffee. Their 2 Mashpee locations include the perfect brunch spot in Mashpee Commons and a lunch and dinner restaurant with a full bar right off Route 130. Cape Cod Coffee has also opened a new location in Wareham Crossing where you can indulge in delicious breakfast, lunch, and dinner options. Visiting any of these locations will leave you absolutely thrilled. Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
The 6th, a new pitcher out there for the Brewster Whitecaps. Mitch Dye, Illini to Illini from Zach Bates.
Right? You said it perfectly. And Mitch Dye, this is only his 2nd appearance with the Whitecaps this season. He pitched 5 days ago when Brewster's lost to Orleans. That was a game that the Whitecaps faltered a little bit late in that contest, and Dye only threw an inning in a third, but in that outing it was scoreless. And what you can expect from a guy like Dye, and I say that without meaning to rhyme, a guy like Dye, you can expect a lot of strikes, very fastball heavy, but that's very similar to a lot of relievers here on the Cape. The thing that stands out is that, he's not necessarily your strikeout guy. He's your guy that just tries to induce weak contact at every corner, and not an easy part of the order to do it with Cotuit coming up and inheriting one runner, but Jamie Shevchik in hope that Dye can in some form replicate his outing 5 days ago.
Has yet to allow an earned run in 2 appearances this summer, 3 1/3 innings pitched. He faces off against the slugger Jack Natilli, who promptly lifts one high into intermediate right field. Magpok coming in on it, makes the grab for out number 2. Natilli lifts the ball plenty. He's been up and down. He's had his streaks, had the red-hot start to July and cooled down for a little bit, then hit a grand slam against Hyannis last week and has kind of come back down again.
That kind of sounds like the Brewster Whitecaps' season. Got really hot at the beginning of the season, then got really cold, then had that almost grand slam middle of the season you can ask for with a nice 5-game win streak. And then after that, it's been kind of up and down, but mostly trending toward that downside. That's why this game does have a lot of implications for Brewster. I mean, a loss today for the Whitecaps and a win for Orleans could bump the Caps all the way down to 4th. So Whitecaps, well, these West and East Division opponents might not necessarily matter as much when it comes down to the standings at the end of the day, but the records and the wins and losses do, and that's why Brewster is just trying to scrap up any wins they can over this last week of play.
And with that, why don't we take a look at the other action on Cape. Harwich is up on YD in the top of the 3rd. Hyannis beating Wareham 1-0 in the top of the 2nd. Falmouth and Orleans are about to begin, as that's a ready-made double play ball, but you won't need it. There's 2 outs on the board already. Play made unassisted by the shortstop Carson Kurz to retire the side. Going into the top of the 7th next. Here on Cape League TV, it's 3-1. Brewster leads.
Make sure to stop by Mid-Cape Oral Surgeons, the maxillofacial surgery and dental implant center of South Yarmouth. Doctors Theo Hardees, Meyer, and Sarah Pack are the Cape's leading experts on oral biopsies, wisdom teeth extractions, and dental implant reconstructive surgery.
Kettleers Baseball is brought to you by Boston Hand to Shoulder, trusted orthopedic specialists for athletes and everyday people. Their expert team treats everything from sports injuries to everyday wear and tear, helping patients of all ages get back to what they love. Boston Hand to Shoulder is now on the Cape. Call 617-965-HAND for all of your hand and upper extremity needs.
The Kettleers Call to the Bullpen is brought to you by Beacon Gardens, Osterville's premier garden center. You'll find everything you need to beautify your home at Beacon Gardens, where quality products and excellent customer service makes them Osterville's premier garden center. Visit Beacon Gardens on Osterville, West Barnstable Road.
Back here in Lowell Park, it's the top of the 7th in this matchup between the Whitecaps and the Kettleers. Chris Albright now joined alongside Connor Shue. Things have returned to normal. We've ditched our Brewster counterparts and are back stuck with each other. And there's a new pitcher out on the mound in the form of Nick Greeny for Cotuit. The batter is going to be the leadoff man, Adam Magpok. Connor, I'll start with this. How is Max Gifford treating you?
It was great. We talked a lot of ball. We got deep on the playoff picture, and their tough end to last season. They lost 17 straight. Ugh. But, you know, sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles in the sport of baseball. But, yeah.
The 1-0 bit inside, counting out 2-0 on Magpok. I mean, I'll tell you, 17 straight will do something to you. 17 straight games, was it that?
17 straight.
Man.
They still had a chance to make the playoffs at the end of the season, but a couple of teams had to lose for them to get the distinction, and that did not happen. So they missed the playoffs, but we talked a lot of Jaron Advincula, actually, because he was reminiscing on the 1 through 9 of that Kettleers order. Charles Davalon at the top, and Advincula winning the batting title last year in the 9-hole.
I mean, Advincula, such an incredible hitter. Sam and I, we got to talking a lot about just the constant rotation of players here on Cape and the guys that will show up for day one. We were joking, you look at these starting lineups from opening day to now, half the names are gone. Count will stay 2-2 on Adam Magpok. Advincula, one of those guys. Now, unfortunately and sadly, a thing of the past of this season. Advincula is still such a productive member of the Kettleers roster. But he left middle of the summer. Headed back out west. 2-2. Magpok will stay alive. He's 0 for 2 today. Does have an RBI. Came in the form of a sac bunt. This is his 4th plate appearance of the evening. Two. Man. Close call on the outside edge of the zone. Taggart Tyson was ready to fire down to third, thinking it would be a called strike 3.
It was a close call, and Greeny likes to paint around that corner, and thought he painted a nice picture there, but unfortunately not.
Ground ball through the gap on the left side. A base hit for Adam Magpok. That's the first hit of the day for the leadoff man. The Whitecaps will have one aboard with no one out.
Magpok's been productive, though. Had a sac bunt, drove in a run on that back in the 4th, and comes in, gets that first knock, and the Kettleers are going to have to watch out for him on the base paths. He is always dancing off of first.
Still a big gap on the left side of the infield. Farber and Van Schlegel playing far, far apart. Farber's, I'd say, 10 feet off the second base bag. Van Schlegel similar at third. Brendan Lawson up. He belts one high and foul. Lawson is 1 for 3 today. He singled and came around to score in the 3rd. That was the first run of the ball game for Brewster. You know what? We'll try this. We'll look back at the Ket's opening day roster. Actually, here's what... You know, I'll turn this into a bit of a game for you. I've got the starting 9. I'll have you, off the top of your head... If you want to go number by number, you can, but guess the Cotuit Kettleers starting lineup game 1 of this season.
Oh, man. Game 1 of the season. I want to say Jaron led off.
Fly ball towards left field. Dean West will track it down, and Adam Magpok will have to scurry back to first base. Looked like it was a hit and run. That ball just stayed high too long.
I don't know what's telling me this, but I remember he missed some time early in the season making some college visits, but I think that was later. So, Jaron, did he lead off?
Ding, ding, ding.
Yes, and he played second. He was on the middle of the infield with P.J. Mutsaritas at short. I think he was...
I won't have you guess the spot in the lineup card. We'll just go starting lineup, because that would be way too difficult.
If I nail the 9 players on the diamond, I feel like I'm gonna. I want to give a shot at the lineup. Ken Deverman started. I remember that. That was an easy one because he was very good early on in the season. It feels like it's been forever since he pitched, but shout out to him. At third, I want to say my intuition's telling me Cam Johnson, but I think he played left to start. I'm going to hold off on that now. Nolan Stevens was in right. No.
No, he was.
Oh.
I'm just looking at you trying to see if you can go 9 for 9.
Okay, so I'm 3 for 3 so far on ones I've...
Magpok goes. It's a soft tapper down the line. It will stay fair. The throw to first won't be in time. It wasn't a bunt, but it acted like it. Delamalier reaches for the first time today. 2 aboard with 1 out.
Okay, so...
Here, we'll do a little recap. So you got Advincula, Mutsaritas, and Deverman. And we'll lock in Stevens for you, so you're 4 for 9.
Okay. So in center... well, Bogenpul wasn't there yet. I'm leaning towards Andrew Wiggins off the rip because I think he started the season playing more center and then went to the corners as the team grew in size towards the middle part. Was Andrew Wiggins in center field?
Yes, sir.
There we go. Winfield wasn't there yet. So in left, it's Cam Johnson or it's I'm going to hold off on that side on left and third base, but first base, Anderson French played first. I won't explain why, but I remember.
You're right on that.
I remember him fielding over there. Catcher was either Lavin or No, Lavin didn't start the season with the team. It was Jack Natilli. He caught.
Yep.
Who played third and left? Man. It's Cam Johnson is one of those. Farber played third. Cam played left.
9 for 9. Bang. I'm shocked it took you until the end to get Farber. Ground ball past to the first baseman, Sanderson. That will score Magpok. He's around third. The throw will go to third, and everyone's safe. Mikalakis heads to second. Delamaliers at third. And Brewster scores another run. The Whitecaps are up 4-1.
They've just been hitting really well in this one, and this is the first time Nick Greeny's really been tagged up so far this summer. He's tough to square up, but that's a memorable group right there. But Farber, you know, I feel like he's just out there so often that sometimes he just slips your mind. So you're like, you just pencil him in over there at short or second, and I think I forgot about him just because PJ and Jaron were in the middle of the infield, so I almost X'd him out in my mind.
Yeah, when the Kets, when they had PJ and Jaron, Farber was the third baseman for Cotuit. I think we got used to him playing third. I want to say the first 10 or 15 games. One out, and that first pitch is swung on and fouled by Dalton Wentz, the 5-hole hitter. The entirety of Cotuit's infield playing shallow with runners in scoring position.
Well, he was there for a while. You said it the first 10 or so games. And was the DH Case Sanderson?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, gosh.
You shouldn't have gone there. You were perfect.
Well, hey, I got the field right.
You got the field right, yeah.
I think I've earned myself the chance to guess the DH. Well, geez, if it wasn't him.
Sanderson did pinch hit
in
that game.
He had a sac fly in that game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he did.
Man, who was the DH?
1-1.
French was at first until he was catching. I don't think Lavin got there yet, so I don't think he could have been the DH. Von Schlegel wasn't there. Matthews wasn't there. Bogenpol wasn't there. West wasn't there.
You have to think of guys that did well in the exhibition against Lexington.
Oh, wow. Was it Max Knight? Or no, I think he pinch ran.
Belted towards right field. That's a no-doubter. A 3-run home run for Dalton Wentz. That cleared the first row of trees out in right field. Man, oh man, a moonshot from Dalton Wentz. And the Whitecaps are up 7-1 over Cotuit. .400 feet, no doubt.
Yeah, that was a missile off of Dalton Wentz bat, and you can't miss to him. He's red hot coming off a 4-hit day, and that's his second of today's game. Just a moonshot out to right.
Comfortable lead now for Brewster. They're up 6 on Cotuit. Grounded towards first. Sanderson will toss to Greeny covering. Colin Priest retired. That's out number 2.
Still trying to think of that DH.
I feel like you'll get it. You're dancing all around. Max Knight.
He came in late.
I believe Max Knight pinch hit in the 9th, and then he was the ghost runner in the 10th, if memory serves me right. Or he was just the ghost runner.
Man, so you're saying this person...
It's not Max Knight.
...hit well in the exhibition game. I feel like I've gone through everybody except for this guy. Jeez, where was he hitting in the lineup?
The 9-hole.
Okay, all right. Jeez. I'm trying to sift through everybody, and I think I've thought of every Kettleers position player except for this guy. I'm mentally looking at the OneNote document we have with everybody on it.
2-1 on Carson Curse. He's 0 for 1 today, but he's been walked twice. Do you want a hint?
I was going to say I don't know if I want to start asking for hints or not because I feel like anything will give it away.
Anything will give it away. And I've got the perfect hint drawn up.
Oh, boy. I'll think about it for a little longer here, but I don't know why, but I feel like it's an outfielder.
Kind of.
Oh, man. I already said Sanderson. I can't believe it's not him. I thought it was locked in Case Sanderson. What's the hint?
We did a good job of maybe accidentally breaking his commitment news. Do you want me to tell you where it was, too?
It was a transfer. I can't believe I'm having trouble with this one.
3-2. High fly ball won't leave the infield. Calling for it is the third baseman, Van Schlegel, who collided with Greeny to make that catch. It's out number 3. Any final guesses before the break, partner?
No.
Rutgers?
Oh, my. Ryan Jaros.
There we go.
The Kettleers interns in the very popular t-shirt toss is brought to you by Paul J. Kettleers Sons, certified roofing experts, proudly serving Cape Cod and Plymouth since 1927. If you've got roofing, siding, or gutter needs, let the Kettleers family take care of your family.
Be safe and comfortable in your home in any season with a Generac automatic standby generator from RCA Electric and Generators in Mashpee. RCA does it all, from consultation to installation to maintenance. For more information, visit rcaelectric.com. RCA Electric and Generators in Mashpee, generating trust.
Kettleers Baseball is brought to you by Mid-Cape Oral Surgeons, the maxillofacial surgery and dental implant center of South Yarmouth. Doctors Thea Herodis, Meyer, and Sarapak are the Cape's leading experts in oral biopsies, wisdom teeth extractions, and dental implant reconstructive surgery.
Gets a 4 spot in the top of the 7th. The Whitecaps up 7-1 over the Kettleers here on a beautiful night in Lowell Park. Some high clouds beginning to be lit up by the sinking sun. Should be a pretty sunset here. Case Sanderson up. He'll be followed by Luke Matthews and Nolan Stevens. We've had a lot of good nights out here as of recent. Hoping for some good weather here tonight.
Well, despite the lack of sun, I mean, it's been pretty cool out here so far. Current temperature, 73 degrees. You'll take that.
That we will. 1-1. Mitch Dye remains out on the bump for Brewster. He came in to relieve Zach Bates, who threw 4 1/3 innings of relief work after coming in to start the 2nd inning. Mitch Dye, his Illinois counterpart. 2-1. Case Sanderson today, he's reached base twice. He tripled and then was hit by a pitch. When he tripled, he came around to score. That's been the lone run on the scoreboard for Cotuit. It's been a quiet day for the Cotuit Bats. 1 run on 2 hits so far. A bit unorthodox from a Cotuit team that has been one of the top marks in the entirety of the Cape League this month of July. 2-2 off the handle of the bat. Two balls, 2 strikes, the count to Case Sanderson, looking to make it 3 times today, getting on base. Belts one into the left center field gap. That will get down. Sanderson does it. He's now 2 for 2 and has a hit by pitch.
He's been almost all the offense for the Kettleers today. Had that triple back in the second and hit one to a similar spot. Another well-struck ball, opposite field. Case Sanderson has had some really good swings lately.
In the month of July, Cotuit's hitting .269 as a team, getting on base at a .379 clip with a .382 slugging. Ground ball towards short, double play ball in effect, and the Whitecaps able to turn 2. That's an inning-ending, scratch that, not an inning-ending double play. That's the first 2 outs, though.
It's been a problem. When the Kettleers have been cold at the plate, it's been a lot of ground balls and plenty of double plays turned by the opposition. It feels like too often we've seen this team, when they're losing, you see guys roll over after getting that first runner on, and then all the momentum that's created has just been zapped after that point.
Kettleers will have an off day tomorrow. That off day will lead into 6 straight games in 6 days to wrap up this 40-game regular season. In the Cape League, 3 home games and 3 away games. 1-1. Stevens rips one high in the air towards shallow right field. Coming in, Magpok, and he'll make the catch. On the charge in. A 1-2-3 inning worked by Mitch Dye with a bit of help from his infield, turning 2. Top of 8 coming up. Brewster up 7-1.
The Kettleers 50-50 raffle is brought to you by 4 Seas Ice Cream in Centerville, the oldest ice cream shop in Massachusetts. They've been in business 91 years, carrying many of the same unbelievable flavors. Visit 4 Seas Ice Cream and taste the difference. Get your 50-50 raffle tickets now.
From bean to bite, sip, savor, and share a moment at Cape Cod Coffee. Their 2 Mashpee locations include the perfect brunch spot at Mashpee Commons and a lunch and dinner restaurant with a full bar right off Route 130. Cape Cod Coffee has also opened a new location in Wareham Crossing, where you can indulge in delicious breakfast, lunch, and dinner options. Visiting any of these locations will leave you absolutely thrilled. Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
The Kettleers are sponsored by longtime Cotuit residents Pat and John Callahan of Kinlan Grover Compass. With over 4 decades of experience in commercial lending and real estate, Pat and John are the go-to choice for all things real estate in Cotuit and surrounding towns. Visit them at 681 Falmouth Road in Mashpee. That's the Callans from Kinlan Grover Compass, proud sponsors and longtime fans of the Kettleers. Top of 8, Brewster up 7-1, and we'll take a quick hit from the third member of our team, Brooke Kilgore.
Guys, a story of success here at Lowell Park. As left-handed pitcher Michael Gray stepped onto the mound for the first time today, he carries a story of perseverance. Playing at Denison for the past 3 seasons, the rising senior just committed to Pitt in early July. The talk of transfers on the Cape tends to revolve around hopping from D1 to D1 program, but Gray has worked hard leaving the D3 sphere. In his junior season at Denison, he appeared in 20 games with a 4.01 ERA in 42 2/3 innings. Gray has spent most of the summer with the Harwich Mariners before finding his way to Cotuit.
And Michael Gray making his Kettleers debut today. He went 3 innings flat, gave up only 1 hit, walked none, and struck out 3 over those 3 scoreless frames. An incredible Kettleers debut for Michael Gray. And there's a new pitcher for Cotuit. It's the righty Zane Starling making his second appearance in 24 hours.
Yeah, he went out in the middle of last game after Rob Evans spun a nice 5 innings and unfortunately got hit around a little bit, but he has an opportunity here to pitch in a more stress-free scenario, down 6, and just try to kind of get his legs under him because he got thrust into high-leverage spots in 1-2-run games in his first 2 appearances and just kind of got lit up in those 2. So it's a chance for him to get right and show off his stuff.
He'll be facing 8, 9, and 1. Carson Tinney, Scott Newman, and Adam Magpok. First pitch, a strike to Carson Tinney. He's 1 for 3 today. His lone base hit was an RBI double. Starling on the season, he's already pitched an inning and 2/3. He's given up 4 hits, 3 runs, all of those earned. He's walked none and struck out 1. We talked about it in the Brewster game yesterday when Starling came in relief in that game, and we mentioned how a couple of his runs were aided by Mother Nature, you could say. He gave up a home run that on any day where there's no wind, that home run's not possible. A one-hopper gets into left center field. A base hit for Carson Tinney. He's now 2 for 4. There's a bit of wind blowing out towards center field. Lowell Park situated, if my internal compass is correct, Lowell Park lies northeast. For sure it's north. I'm fairly sure about the east.
Let's take a look. We are facing northeast right now. How about that?
Oh, my internal compass is correct. 1-1 now, the count on Scott Newman, the 9-hole hitter. I'll tell you what, my intuition, maybe I've got a lot of metal in my blood. You know how you have iron in your blood?
Yes, I do.
It jumps around towards the North Pole, and I just know exactly where north is.
It's just you're always pointing north?
I guess so. So with the wind blowing out towards left center field, the wind's now blowing north. High pop-up behind the dish. Tyson trying to make a play on it. He's out of room, and that baseball clatters around on top of the press box here at Lowell Park. Two and two. No one out, a runner on first. Front door slider, just a bit inside. Full count. Ground ball towards second, fielded by Matthews. Tossed to Farber, the first. Not in time. Cats get the force out at second to retire the lead runner. Scott Newman reaches safely. But the Cats get out number one. Magpok, the leadoff man up. He takes ball one. Temperature-wise, I feel like we're close to low 70s. Oh, we are 74 degrees. It feels a little chillier. 1-0. I feel like this is the first time this season where we can say during a game, or at least I can say it's a little bit brisk.
It's on the cooler side. It's at least of 73 degrees. I mean, there's no sunlight peeking through to warm us up.
Ripped in the air down the right field line. It will settle up against the fence. Heading into third is Scott Newman. Magpok doubles.
I thought Newman could have got home on that one. It was a long run Stevens had to make to get that ball off the right field fence, but they're staying conservative, up 6 at this point.
Third base coach for Brewster, Scott Grimes, not trying to overrun anyone here in the 8th. Brewster now 11 hits on the ball game. 7 runs to count for it. Cotuit 1 run on 3 hits. Cats have a pair of errors as well. I know we say it's not chilly. Where I want to be in life at this point is like Becky Manikis, longtime Kettleers fan. She's sitting up along the fence kind of beneath us. She's in a hoodie, but she's eating ice cream. She's wrapping up an ice cream bar.
She's living the life.
I'll tell you what. If I could be eating ice cream in a hoodie watching Kettleers baseball, I would have a great day. Oh, man. Runners on second and third, 1 out. The batter is Brendan Lawson. Lawson is 1 for 4 today. Fouled off the screen of Taggart Tyson. Count evens at 1 apiece. Zane Starling looking for out number 2 in this inning. Against Bourne yesterday, Starling only went 1 out, unable to get the second tick on the scoreboard. 1-1. Again, this is Starling's second appearance in 24 hours. Atypical to see from a reliever. You don't want to start saying fatigue, but that could certainly be an issue. Chopper towards first. Sanderson gloves it, looks back everyone, and then will step on the first base bag for out number 2. Good defense from Case Sanderson. He stared down Newman at third and Magpok at second to make sure neither of them advanced. 3 unassisted for out number 2, and up will step the 3-spot hitter, Brody DeLamelier, the left fielder for Brewster. 1 for 4, but he singled in his last plate appearance. Wave and a miss. DeLamelier is hitting .333 in limited plate appearances for Brewster. And he's down in the count 0-2 now. Delamalier playing in just his now 4th game for the Brewster Whitecaps. Oh, 2. In a part of the season where many refer to it as just grinded out baseball. If you've been here the entire summer, you're feeling the fatigue. If you're a new guy, you're trying to step up. Fouled off. Count will stay put at 1-2. Many teams looking towards new faces to help bridge the gap from tiring end of season play to postseason play. Playoffs just, what is that, 9 days away. August 5th. Wave and a miss. A strikeout from Zane Starling to end the 8th inning. Whitecaps strand a pair of runners on the base paths. The Whitecaps still lead 7-1 over Cotuit. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Kets Baseball is brought to you by Beacon Gardens, Osterville's premier garden center. You'll find everything you need to beautify your home at Beacon Gardens, where quality products and excellent customer service make them Osterville's premier garden center. Visit Beacon Gardens on Osterville and West Barnstable Road.
Wake up to Cape Cod's finest coffee. Cape Cod coffee roasts fresh daily using only the finest beans. With a wide variety of options, from light to dark, flavored to decaf, there's something for everyone. Visit locally in Mashpee Commons and off Route 130 in Mashpee, or venture over the bridge to Wareham Crossing, where each location offers a full bar and menu. Proudly supporting the Cotuit Kettleers, Cape Cod Coffee is passionate about our brews and our community.
You'll be ready to power up when the power goes out with generator maintenance and service from RCA Electric in Mashpee. From preventative maintenance plans to 24/7 emergency service, trust RCA to keep your generator humming. Call us or visit rcaelectric.com. RCA Electric and Generators in Mashpee, generating trust.
First pitch is a ball to Taggart Tyson. It will be 9-1-2 here in the bottom of the 8th. Cats have seen some late inning magic earlier this season and have seen some big crooked number innings. This ball is tagged towards center field. Newman will take a couple steps back and make the catch.
Yeah, loud fly out off the bat of Tyson, but just not quite enough to get out to that deep center field wall.
Zam von Schlegel up. He started pinch hitting for Camden Johnson in the 2nd inning after Johnson left the game with injury. Von Schlegel today, he's 0 for 2. A pop out and a fly out. He's hitting 6 ticks below 300 on the summer. 294 for the batting average in limited plate appearances. Count is 0-2 on Von Schlegel. Tag towards center field and down for a base hit.
Von Schlegel's been hitting it well lately. .333 average coming into this game, and he's really produced in every single game he's gotten started.
Switch hitting Ryan Farber up. He's batting lefty against the righty Dye on the mound. Farber's been quiet today, an 0-for-3 day. Not something you see often out of Farber. Swung on and lifted towards shallow center. That will get down for a base hit. Kets have back-to-back singles. They say hitting is contagious. The Kettleers have showcased that this season. Hoping to piece together some base hits here. The batter's Caden Bogenpole. He's got a lot of power in his bat. You talk to a lot of people watching the Cape League, and they'll tell you very few people have the power that Bogenpole does. He gets his bat around quick, sometimes to his detriment. He's broken quite a few bats this summer. But he's just got that power. He can meet the baseball at lightning pace. The count will even 1-1.
We asked him yesterday how many bats he's broken, and he has broken 8 through 20 games.
At one point, he said he was on a multi-game streak where he broke a bat. 1-1. Called a strike on the outside corner. Runners on first and second for Bogey, the hard-hitting center fielder. 1-2. Bogenpole lifts one towards left field. Delamalier back, and he'll camp short of the track and make the catch. High fly out for out number 2. Here's the designated hitter, Jack Natilli. He's 0-for-3 today. One could argue he's due. He's hitting just below 250. So this being his 4th at-bat, when you're hitting close to 250, that indicates you should have at least 1 hit in 4 at-bats. He takes outside. Natilli, the home run leader for the Kettleers. He's had home runs aplenty this summer. He's up to 6, and half of them have been grand slams. A 3-run shot wouldn't be bad either. Mitch Dye isn't throwing anything close to the zone right now, not giving Natilli a chance. (2-0). Bouncing ball left side, gloved by Kirsch, throws across the diamond on a hop to Priest, and that retires Natilli. A long throw from the shortstop, 6-3 on the putout. Kets strand a pair of base runners, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. We'll head to the 9th inning, and taking things home on the play-by-play, Connor Shue. Beacon Gardens is a proud sponsor of the Kets, Osterville's premier garden center. Located on Osterville, West Barnstable Road, Beacon Gardens prides itself on quality products and excellent customer service. Check out their tremendous assortment of garden products. That's Beacon Gardens, Osterville's premier garden center.
Boston Hand to Shoulder, trusted orthopedic specialist for athletes and everyday people, is your go-to team for Boston's professional athletes and people across New England. So if an injury is slowing you down, Boston Hand to Shoulder is now on Cape Cod. Call 617-965-HAND for all your hand and upper extremity needs. Go Cats!
Need an ice cream fix this summer? Stop by the Four Seas Ice Cream in Centerville, the oldest ice cream shop in Massachusetts. They've been in business 91 years, carrying many of the same unbelievable flavors. Visit Four Seas Ice Cream and taste the difference.
I'm Connor Schutt. To my right is Chris Albright here for the 9th inning of this one. Brewster up 7-1 over the Cotuit Kettleers. Ryan Egan, the new arm out there for the Kets, appeared in last night's game against Bourne. So pitching in back-to-back contests is Egan. He's made 3 appearances this summer. Finished 1 game, 3 innings, 3 strikeouts for Egan this summer. He faces the heart of the order: Maddox Michalakis, Dalton Wentz, and Colin Priest. This was the part of the order that scorched the Kettleers a couple innings ago. Michalakis drove in a run on a single in the 7th, and Dalton Wentz brought him and Brody DeLaMeliere home on a 3-run homer. Michalakis is 2 for 4 today, the Arizona third baseman. Max and I had fun talking about those pronunciations, and we were starting to talk about a potential all-name team here on Cape, and I think Stone Lawless was one of those that popped up, the relief pitcher for, He closed one out against us earlier this season. That's a hard hit ball in the right field. A base knock, the 3rd of the day for Michalakis. I'll get to the bottom of this Stone Lawless business here in a second.
Catcher for Hyannis. Stone Lawless.
That's right. Because there's another, there's a relief pitcher who has a similar name.
Yeah.
And now I'm forgetting his name. I was looking through the scores last night, and he got a save. So I will find this one out.
I'll tell you, the Brewster guys love their all-name team. Sam and I talked a lot about that as well. And he brought up Taggart Tyson for the all-name team.
That's who Max led with. He's like, Taggart Tyson doing the catching. I think that's probably my favorite name on Cape, he said.
He and Sam said the exact same thing then.
Wow,
they really conform to each other.
Jeez, the Syracuse, I almost said cesspool, but the Syracuse contingent, those guys, they've all got one mind, man. I don't know.
Have some originality in your thought.
Oh, shameful.
We'll have to ask Brooke her thoughts on the all-name team. She's Syracuse.
We love all those guys, and gals.
We really do.
They're not a cesspool.
No, they're not.
Shout out to Brooke Kilgore and Brooke Vaccaro here with the Kettleers, 2 interns from Syracuse. Sideline and social media.
Yeah. And Harry. Harry's going to Syracuse.
Harry is. I still think of Harry as still being in high school as Egan punches out Dalton Wentz swinging his first strikeout of the evening. But, yeah, Harry on his way to be one of the Orangemen. Is there anyone else we're forgetting?
Oh, man.
I don't think so.
I hope not. I think we've got everyone from Syracuse, at least for Cotuit.
And you can look at the play-by-play broadcasters for these other teams, and it's a laundry list of Syracuse names. Shout out to Max and Sam over in the Brewster booth. Luke over with YD.
Gino with Harwich.
Andrew, ADP over with Falmouth.
ADP.
Who else?
Chatham. Hudson.
Hudson and Jake.
Hudson and Jake.
That is shot deep into right field. Going back on it is Stevens, and he watches it fly. 2-run shot for Colin Priest makes this a 9-1 ball game, the second home run of the night for the Whitecaps. Well, this one's been blown open. Colin Priest coming into this game hitting a .160. Goes yard for the first time this summer.
He's 2 for 5 today.
Nine to 1 is your new score. In steps Carson Curse. Wareham's got Josh from Syracuse. I think we can keep listing them off.
Jay Ritchie.
Hyannis is, I think, the only other booth without a Syracuse Orangeman. Them and us. Lifted high into center field. Bogan pull back towards the wall. Makes the grab. Some deep contact for these Whitecap bats. Curse flies out.
Outside of that strikeout from Dalton Wentz, it's been some well-connected pieces of hitting. I mean, that was a deep fly out to center from Curse.
Just to wrap up the Syracuse shoutouts, we cannot forget Jish Sokolsky with Orleans.
Jish with Orleans. Man, I'm ashamed it took us that long to get to Jish.
Sorry, Jish. We love you.
He was the first other broadcaster we met out here. Cotuit opened the season against Orleans. That was June 14th, and I'll never forget, Jish sent a nice little email including the game notes to us, and that was our first interaction with another broadcaster out here.
He treated us well, him, and we met Briggs right after him, his partner from Emerson. Egan settles on the hill. Got 2 outs in this frame. It's 9-1 Brewster. Tagged on the ground over the third base bag, but fell. 9 runs, 13 hits for Brewster. 1 run on 5 hits for Cotuit. Brewster with a victory in this one will vault them closer to number 2 in the East Division. This broadcast is a copyrighted production of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Any unauthorized duplication, retransmission, or other use is strictly prohibited. Lifted into foul territory. Tyson giving it a look, makes the grab just in front of the Caps dugout. 9-1 is your score going into the bottom of the 9th here at Lowell Park. Cats will get one last chance to bat.
The Kettleers Call to the Bullpen is brought to you by longtime Cotuit residents Pat and John Callahan of Kinlan Grover Compass. With over 4 decades of experience in commercial lending and real estate, Pat and John are the go-to choice for all things in real estate in Cotuit and surrounding towns. Visit them at 618 Falmouth Road in Mashpee. That's the Callahans from Kinlan Grover Compass, proud sponsors and longtime fans of the Kettleers.
Boston Hand to Shoulder are a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. Trusted orthopedic specialist for athletes and everyday people. Their expert team treats everything from sports injuries to everyday wear and tear, helping patients of all ages get back to what they love. Boston Hand to Shoulder is now on the Cape. Call 617-965-HAND for all your hand and upper extremity needs.
Be safe and comfortable in your home in any season with a Generac automatic standby generator from RCA Electric and Generators in Mashpee. RCA does it all from consultation to installation to maintenance. For more information, visit rcaelectric.com. RCA Electric and Generators in Mashpee, generating trust.
Last summer, Cotuit, I believe, had over 70 players come and go throughout the season. We'll have to ask Pete Flaherty for the official number.
Well, we can take a look at Baseball Reference. And
Or we
we've
could
got
do
it.
that. No need to talk to Pete Flaherty. Why would we do that?
58 players.
Oh, geez. Now I sound bad.
It's all good. Hey, we appreciate everything Pete does. You know, he gives us the read on a lot of stuff.
And he does.
Dean West, the first man up in the frame. 1-0 count to him. Near working, starting with his back to the batter. Near, like you said, a .643 earned run average this summer. 6 appearances, 7 innings flat. Started his college career at Indian River State as that's lined into the glove of the second baseman Wentz. 1 down. Benier starting out at Indian River State, going to Florida State. Made 23 appearances in their bullpen this past year. Made a couple saves as well. He pitches against Case Sanderson. He's having a great day at the plate. 2 for 2, a single, a triple. Got hit by a pitch as well. He's quietly raised his batting average up to .271. Sanderson has built himself a nice summer. Doesn't bring you a ton of power from first base, but he's got a good contact pad and bat, and he plays a good first base. You don't often see balls get by him over there.
Really good defensive presence over at the first base bag.
Near fires. Hits the corner. 1-2. 1 down in the frame. There's still a good crowd on hand for where the score is. Half of each set of bleachers are full. Still a good amount of fans lining the outfield wall. Still some chairs down the third and first base lines as well. Coming in to make the play is the left fielder, Delamalier. 2 down on that Case Sanderson flyout.
Just got a bit underneath it, and that's been the story of the day for the Cotuit Kettleers. Only 1 strikeout has been thrown to the Cats lineup today, and that happened in the first inning. Jack Natilli down swinging. The rest of it has been pop-ups, ground-outs, foul-outs, just no punch-outs.
Just pitching to contact consistently is what the Whitecaps have done. Great glove at third by Mikalakis, and he rolls that one away. Matthews turns over to second base off the error.
It looked for a second that this game was going to end in a very fitting fashion for Brewster, which was a great defensive play. But instead, the Kets have a little bit of life.
Matthews is aboard at second. The Kettleers are still alive. 2-out base runner is Luke Matthews, the Kent State second baseman. Enter Nolan Stevens, the right fielder out of now Oklahoma, previously Mississippi State. Was a two-way guy there. His first year actually pitched more than he hit, but flipped the script his second year and was in the lineup most days, hit over 300. Quick mound meeting concludes between catcher Carson Tinney and Chris Neer. They call that previous play a single for Luke Matthews. He would have made it close regardless of where that ball landed off the throw of Mikalakis. The pitch, that's a strike. Maddox Mikalakis. Big fan of that name, as we've discussed earlier.
Couple of good third baseman Maddoxes in the Cape League. Another one, Maddox Maloney of the Harwich Mariners.
Gotta love the alliteration on both of them.
I mean, those are two. I think we could make the argument, all name Cape League guys, Maddox Mikalakis and Maddox Maloney.
How about Gianni Gambardella for, I think, Harwich?
Gambardella was another good one.
He pitched the first time those two teams met, Cotuit and Harwich. Neer's trying to close the door. 2-out base runner on second, 9-1 ball game. The pitch to Stevens. Shoots straight up in the air on the right side of the infield. Brewster loud in their dugout as this one concludes on a pop-up. To second base, Dalton Wentz making the final out. Your final score is 9-1, and the Kettleers have dropped 2 straight now. They are 14, 17, and 2. Brewster improves to 18, 15, and 1. Chris, initial thoughts?
It was a great game offensively from Brewster. I mean, you could see it last night in their game that the Whitecaps have the ability to hit. And I think the team knows that. Brewster last night put up 13 hits and 8 runs. And head man Jamie Shevchuk said, anytime you put up 13 hits and 8 runs, you should win a game. And tonight, Brewster put up 9 runs on 13 hits, and they won the game. So that math checks itself out. I mean, the bats of Brewster just clobbered all over Cotuit, and the pitching for Brewster was there as well, limiting the Kets to only just 6 hits on the night. So I think that it was everything Brewster tonight.
Final line is 9-1 Brewster. 9 runs, 13 hits, 1 error for Brewster, while leaving 8 runners on base. Cotuit, 1 run on 6 hits, 2 errors, 8 left on base as well. The winning pitcher today, Zach Bates, 3-0 record now in the summer for Brewster as he went 4 1/3 innings of 1-run ball. Allowed 5 hits but limited damage. Allowed 1 hit and limited the little bit of damage he allowed. Gavin Jones, the losing pitcher for Cotuit in his first start. But you mentioned the Brewster pitching staff off the rip, and that was really what did it for them. I mean, they hit really well, but the tone was set by Ryan Peach, the Xavier righty, whose start was unfortunately abbreviated after an injury post-first inning and had to go out. But tip your cap to Zach Bates and the job he did immediately after.
Oh, you have to give all the credit in the world to Bates for the game today. He came in a situation that he was certainly unprepared for. You're a relief pitcher, and you're getting told at the top of the second, hey, go out there and warm up because we need you. And in that moment, if you're Brewster, you're kind of pressing the panic button, saying, okay, we don't have that many arms. We need to save guys. And here we are throwing a relief guy out in the second inning. Zach Bates calmed any storms that could be brewing in that dugout, thinking of what possibly could happen. Bates went 4 1/3 innings, all in relief. He gave up 1 hit, 1 earned run, walked 1, struck out none. I mean, that is just nails out of the bullpen for Bates, who drops his season ERA down to 2.55.
The reliever earned his third win. This game concluded at 7:26 p.m. local time, 2 minutes and 53 minutes. A quick one here at Lowell Park. And the bugaboo, one of them for the Kettleers today, was something that was a real demon for them early in the season, hitting with runners in scoring position, 0 for 7 in such situations today. And I think that'll be something that Coach Hibbs looks back on in the coming days after this game, Chris.
Well, the Cats and the rest of the Cape League have the off day tomorrow. Still plenty to play for. I mean, I'll tell you, things are close. It's not anyone. It's anyone's race, really. No one's been eliminated from playoff contention yet, so still plenty to play for in this Cape League season.
So Cotuit drops to 14, 18, and 2. They are still situated above Hyannis. And if Hyannis gets a win tonight, they will jump Cotuit. Hyannis is up 1-0 on first place Wareham. Whitey down 1-3 to the first place Harwich Mariners in the East Division. Orleans is beating Falmouth 2-0. That's good for the Kettleers. They're in 5th place right now in the West. Bourne is beating Chatham 1-0 in the top of the second. Kettleers rooting for Chatham in that one. And the Brewster Whitecaps beat Cotuit 9-1 in this one in dominating fashion. A 2-home run day for the Whitecaps all around. Long balls from Colin Priest and Dalton Wentz did the job for them, scoring 5 of their 9 runs. But let's look at some positives here for the Kettleers. Case Sanderson, 2-hit day, a single and a triple. The top of the order did it. Cam Johnson doubled in his only plate appearance of the game. Zan Von Schlegel went 1 for 3 in his place. So there was some good to look at here.
How about Michael Gray? Michael Gray, in his Kettleers debut, comes in 3 innings of relief, gives up 1 hit, no runs, none earned, walked none, and struck out 3. I mean, if Gray can do that for the rest of the summer for Cotuit, I mean, how's that for a great pickup? Gray, playing for Harwich earlier this summer, takes the jump all the way across to Mid-Cape, not just division-wise, but location-wise. I mean, he's really got something going if he can continue to do what he did tonight.
He really does. Welcome to Cotuit, Michael Gray. A great first appearance for him after coming over from Harwich, where he spun a couple of scoreless innings there and continues that streak with Cotuit. Zane Starling looked good out of the pen as well. He got hit around early, but left 2 runners on base to complete a scoreless inning after struggling yesterday, so you tip your cap to him as well. Those 2 look good out of the pen. The Kettleers, their next game after a break tomorrow on Monday, they go to Hyannis to play the Harbor Hawks at 6 o'clock local time. And then it's games the rest of the way until the regular season is over. That'll be 6 straight for the Cotuit Kettleers, who are now 14, 18, and 2. Brewster up to 18, 15, and 1. Chris, any final thoughts before we go?
Plenty left to play for. Roll Cats.
He said it. We play on Tuesday against Hyannis. We'll talk to you then. For Chris Albright, for Brooke Kilgore, for Sorka Lewis, Riley Lewis, Sam Reese, and Max Gifford, the Brewster broadcasters who were grateful enough to donate their time to us in the broadcast booth here, we say good night.